Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everyone. Welcome to KerbSide Pickups, KerbSide Collection sister show, where I have my gracious and regular co-host Shane Hoffmann, or at Blue Red Country on Instagram, with me. How you going, Shane?
Going good, Adam.
Got a new
Been hanging
setup
out for
there?
this chat. Yes, the new
Yeah,
setup.
new setup, new kit and caboodle. Hopefully, the sound's better for you guys. With Shane changing things. Got a big episode this week, or this month, I should say. I'm going to say insider news. I've got some news to share and some upcoming 4K releases that haven't been announced on any JB Hi-Fi website yet, or at least at the time of recording. And this will drop exactly 1 week after we're recording. So yeah, stuff that's upcoming for April through to June-ish. And some other stuff that I want to discuss regarding how price points work and some other news I've heard a lot down the track. So I guess without further ado, we can get stuck into the show proper. Shane, what have you had arrive this time since we last spoke?
I haven't actually had anything arrive as yet. There is stuff in the pipeline.
Put a month, nothing's arrived at all. That's
nothing.
Huh.
No.
There you
But
go.
you wait, Adam. You wait till next episode.
Yeah, this is going to be a big one.
I will run through what is
Yeah.
coming. So I got I pre-ordered 7 Steelbook.
Yeah.
Got that coming. Also below the Kino 4K. They're the only 2 things I've ordered at the minute from Outrun. Everything else is going to come from Vinegar, which I actually tallied up my amounts on the order, and I had a bit of a palpitation.
Yeah, right.
So pretty much, I went through a few of them before, but I'll just run through them again.
Let's do it.
So basically, from getting the Virtuosity, BSU 4K, Keanu and Co, Surf 2, Bang the Drum Slowly, which is one of the new cinematography releases, Disembodied, Street Trash, Hitcher in the Dark, Guest House, Paradiso, which you so kindly sent me a link for.
Yes.
Early in the morning. You must get this.
Have you? Yeah, you must get it. Well, I'm one of those people. I like bad comedies, and this is. Can we talk about Guest House Paradiso for a second? Because you would know Rick. You obviously know Rick and Adrian Edmondson from the Young Ones. But did you ever watch their show Bottom?
I was going to say Bottom.
Yeah. So this is just an extended version of that, and it's funny as shit, man. It is so funny. It's like 80 odd minutes. It's not even a long movie. It's just bullshit, crazy and stupid, dumb, and I love that type of stuff. So
well, Bottom needs to be brought back into society so everyone can enjoy it, like a massive collection.
I have a DVD box set of Bottom. I got it off Amazon last year now. Yeah.
It's just so funny.
There's been a few things that I have recommended to you lately, though, so I'm fearful that you might not like it, but that you haven't really loved. I mean, Cool Hand Luke was something that you're pretty tepid on. Maltese Falcon you didn't think was better than Casablanca, which hurt my feelings. But
saying that, with both of those films, I honestly feel I need to watch them again.
Yeah, you do. Maltese Falcon holds up so well on rewatches. Like, it's really good.
Like, it's not that I didn't like Maltese Falcon. I thought it was good. It looked good. Damn, it looked good.
Yeah, it does.
But it was just different, a very different film. Like, I think there was a lot more violence in it, violence for that time anyway.
Well, it's a noir. It's a noir thriller. So that's where, that's one of the, when you talk about noir, it's like Maltese Falcon and Double Indemnity, the 2 big ones that kind of kickstarted and popularized that genre. And Double Indemnity, I think Maltese Falcon shits over Double Indemnity, but Double Indemnity seems to have the better reputation. But yeah, anyway, sidetracked. That won't be the first of many sidetracks this episode, probably.
If there's not tangents in these episodes, like, we may as well just pack it in.
It's good we're not hiking, because we'd never find our way back.
And that would be the fun of it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So
the journey's
I'd say that was the point. I think around Street Trash, that was the point for last episode where I stopped because nothing else had come out. So then after all those other 2 are added, because they were in the daily deals, super cheap, picked up a one called Iced, which I'd never heard of, but everyone was raving about this, that it was going to come out on the Facebook Vinegar Syndrome page in the comments. So I was like, yep, no brainer. 80s, it's going to be gold. Early 70s, Child's Play. Haven't seen it. So I've heard this is quite good. That's another cinematography release. Blood Tracks, Howling 2, Sidney Sheldon's Bloodline.
Oh, my mum used to
Finally
read Sidney
got,
Sheldon books.
well, it's got a hell of a cast in it, like big
Doesn't it?
names.
Yeah.
So I'm keen to check that one out.
Yeah, he was a kind of a
Um,
big name author back in the day.
oh yeah, I remember those books at the school library. Like
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
I never read any because I was reading like Stephen King and Dean
Yeah.
Koontz, but I
Mm-hmm.
do remember seeing them there. And I finally picked up The Tenant,
Oh,
which
yeah.
what I've heard is one of the most phenomenal transfers getting around. So pretty keen to check that out. And then Deranged, Go Fish, Shanks, and one smiley face. So
Okay. So I've heard
that
of 2% of those movies, and one of them I recommended.
you just imagine if we lived closer.
Yeah, that's the thing. My watch list and unwatched pile is beyond a joke. Yeah, if we were close to home, it would just if we were able to in that vicinity, we could have movie nights. It'd be crazy. I think it'd be really good. Then we wouldn't have to buy all the shit that we buy because we could just watch each other's, right? So
You'd just be sharing it.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Ah, one day.
Um, and that's the thing. This is the good thing about physical media. Studios can't crack down on you sharing movies like you share passwords. They can't block your
Mm,
subscription because you share a movie. A physical
sure.
media all the way. And so is that all you've
That
got coming? That's the list.
I think that's going to be it for the vinegar order. I don't
All
think I
right.
could possibly squeeze anything else in there.
Okay. I'll go through what I've had. Well, the highlights of what I've had arrive
Yep.
because for this month or for the month of January, I've had 78 new titles, and that's a lot less than I've had the previous 3 or 4 months per month. But do not despair, dear listener. A lot of these are from op shopping and secondhand storing, so they're not all brand new releases. I am a bargain hunter. I love to hunt bargains. Like Elmer Fudd hunting wabbits. I hunt bargains. So the highlights I picked up because I've never seen these. These were, I think, from Easy DVD. They had a big 30% off sale on a lot of Disney, Fox titles. Get rid of some. I assume to get rid of them. That's why I have sales, right? But I picked up Predator 2 and Predators. I've never actually seen the sequels to the first one. I've heard mixed about them, especially Predators. But yeah, anyway, keen to watch them. I'll get to them one day. So I've got the 4Ks of those. I also picked up the new releases that came out. When was that? Jan 15. Probably the best single week release we've had in Australia that I remember for a while. So I've got Galaxy Quest, Quick and the Dead, Roman Holiday, Stand By Me, Truman Show, Glory, and Adam's Family Value. So there's a couple there I'd never, well, actually only one I'd never seen from there, and that's Glory, and I'm still yet to watch it. But I mean, all banger films. So that's, yeah, very happy with that. Any comments on any of those movies? You want to discuss any of them? I mean, we've got time,
Well,
right?
Predator 2, I love that because
Okay, that's good to
I
know.
grew up watching, Predator 2, Gary Busey, Danny Glover. It's got some other killer supports. You got Bill Paxton in there,
Yep.
Ruben Blades. It's a great movie, and it's gory as I don't know how
Oh, really?
I don't know how it got an M rating back then. That was R-rated material for sure.
That's interesting. That's cool.
Predators is it's okay, but I thought the Predator was better. The one they followed up with.
Okay. Is that the
So
one? That's the one the Shane Black directed one, right? That's from
I
like
think
2010 or something.
I think so.
I've heard that's
Um,
shit. I've heard that's
it
really
wasn't
terrible.
it wasn't that long ago. Well, it didn't feel that long ago to me.
Or it might not be. Like I'm just pulling that year out of my ass. I really don't know. I could look it
It might
up.
have been 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're absolutely right. There are people that think that one is terrible, but then again, I didn't really think Predators was that great. I mean, it's
Okay.
watchable and it's entertaining,
Mm.
but really, did we need any more than the first two? Probably,
Do
probably
you
not.
most circumstances do you ever need any more than the first one? Honestly, yeah. But in saying
Uh,
that, have you seen? I'm assuming you've. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume you've watched Prey, the straight to Disney Plus prequel. Yeah. What do you think of that?
I I really enjoyed it.
It's great, right?
Um,
Yeah.
they're actually doing a sequel to that.
They are. Dan Trachtenberg's back on board. Yeah. I
Um,
don't know what it's. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, I don't need to know what it's about because I like to not know. I like to know as little about those movies as I possibly can. So yeah,
I mean, I think I did read it was going to be based in the like war era.
yeah, like World War II or one or something.
I think so. It was either two
Yeah,
or one.
yep,
Uh,
that's good
and
enough for me.
I thought it was really well done. Like it, I really wanted to see it, and it was on online somewhere, and I was so stoked when they actually released it on
Mm,
physical media. So I just
yeah.
bought it.
Oh, so you didn't see it on Disney Plus?
No, because we
Okay.
never had that when it came out. It was like when the director's cut of Rocky 4 was out,
Yeah.
but we didn't have any of the platforms to actually watch it,
Hmm.
which was like, oh, I can't wait for it to be released on hard copy so I can just buy it and watch it
Yeah.
whenever I like.
It's a miracle
Um,
it got a physical release.
yeah,
It's a
well
miracle.
worth it
Like,
though.
yeah, yeah. I'm glad they're doing it because it was straight to Disney. It didn't go to cinemas or anything. So I think it did. I'm pretty sure it didn't.
It had
But
a
yeah,
handful of cinema releases, but I don't think we actually got any or many around Australia. We didn't get any down here.
yeah, I don't think so. I don't remember it being at cinema. I probably wouldn't have gone to see it anyway, but yeah. Anyway, the next few I got off, I actually brought these as DVDs from an op shop. They're like $1 each, because I have never seen Blu-rays for them. The first one I forgot it even existed, but I remember watching this when I worked at the video store, or around that time I worked at the video store, so the mid to late 90s. Mystery Alaska, which is have you heard of? Surely you've heard of Mystery Alaska. I did post it on my on the Instagram page for KerbSide Collections. It's got Russell Crowe in it. It's got quite a big cast, and it's basically about ice hockey.
I did
I'm gonna,
see. I remember the cover when you posted that video and
yeah.
or that picture. I was like, shit, I haven't thought about that film like for bloody ages.
No, that's the thing. I saw it and I was like, oh, I forgot this existed as a movie. So it's yeah, it's got Russell Crowe, Hank Azaria, Cole Meany, Burt Reynolds. Jay Roach directs it. Jay Roach has done a few comedies, but it's basically, yeah, it's a sports comedy, ice hockey thing. And I remember
Yeah.
quite liking it, to be perfectly honest. I don't remember now whether it's actually got a good reputation or not, but I got that. I'm so keen to jump in back into that if I ever open up my DVD cupboard where I've stored it. Also picked up the whole 9 yards and the whole 10 yards because they were sitting side by side, and I was like, why not? They're $1 each. I know the whole 9 yards was pretty good. Whole 10 yards, no, but you got to have them both, especially when they're only
I,
$1.
I was gonna say like the whole 10 yards. I don't think I've ever seen that. I've
Yeah,
seen the whole 9 yards.
it's good.
So
Amanda Peet
yeah,
lifts it up towards the end. That's if you've never seen the movie, you'll see what I mean if you do watch it. If you have seen it, you'll know exactly what I mean. I also got Arlington Road, which is one of the most underrated bangers of all time. Not from 1999, of course. 1999 was a great year for movies, so it was probably lost in the wash. But this is Tim Robbins and Jeff Bridges and Joan Cusack political thriller. So great, man. It's like just this, it's like about suburban paranoia, pretty much, but this paranoia turns out to be true, I suppose, if I'm going to spoil it a little bit. But Arlington Road is such a great film, really good little thriller, worth watching. And for $1, I wasn't gonna pass that up. I did get the Seven Steelbook. I couldn't resist that. And then I think about 3 days later, it was announced that we're getting it in Australia in March for $55. So, I mean, I didn't really pay overs for it, maybe an extra $10, but nothing over the top. But Seven is a must have for me. It's in my all time top 10 favorite movies. So definitely going to get that. I picked up one for under your influence. I did pick up American Sniper. Yet to see. I'm not a massive Clint Eastwood fan, directing or acting, although his westerns, he's the Man with No Name trilogy, obviously is an exception to that. But I picked up American Sniper, and that'll be interesting to find. I also picked up off eBay a movie that is kind of on my should get a 4K, or I'd like to get a 4K release. That was mainly because I didn't have a copy, but I found The Way, Way Back, which is a coming of age story with Steve Carell. This is long out of print. It's from 2013. I found it for $15 on eBay, and I was like instant buy because that's probably more than 50%. Like you can get copies, but they're around high $30 mark. And that's kind of rough to pay. But when I saw this $15, it was just instant. Yep, no problem. No thought behind it. I love The Way, Way Back. I think it's a really underrated, underknown, underseen film. If you like coming of age films, really worth watching. It's actually written and directed by Nat Faxon and Jim Rash. If you know those guys, you would know Nat Faxon if you looked at a picture of him. He's a very familiar actor, but he actually wrote this. And Jim Rash is actually plays the Dean in Community, if you've seen Community. He's the same guy.
No, of Community, but I never watched any of it.
Never saw Community. Community, look, I'm a big fan of the first 3 seasons of Community, maybe the first 4, 3.5, I'll say. But the last 2 are great. They're a bit of a slog to get through, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, anyway, I also picked up, pisses me off a little bit. There's it's not out of print. There's still a few copies floating about, but I picked up, there's a H.P. Lovecraft box set that Umbrella did with Reanimator, Bride of Reanimator, Beyond Reanimator, Dagon, and Color Out of Space in it. And it's now, as I talk, it's on sale on the Easy DVD website for $42. I paid $84 for it and had it delivered like a week before it went on sale. I'm a bit pissed about that, but we get, because it's not available on JB website or anything anymore. I've not seen it in store anywhere, and I'd really been eyeing it off, and FOMO really just snagged me one night, and I just picked it up. So I'm not disappointed. I also made a recent post where sorry, did you want to talk about any of those movies? I've only seen Reanimator and Color Out of Space out of those.
You were talking about the way back. We actually have that on Blu-ray. Like,
do you
pick that up? Obviously a while ago now.
Yeah,
that's a great movie,
isn't it?
I do like coming of age films. That is definitely up there for that.
That warms my heart that you've even seen it, let alone own it. That's great, because
that Reanimator set, or the H.P. Lovecraft set, people were losing their tits over that when it was going to come out. I was just thinking, well, Umbrella at it again, as they do, reissuing this, that, and whatever. But they'd already brought out Reanimator movies in Beyond Genres. So
they had.
If you had those, then this comes out and it's like, oh well, do I really need that set that's going to set me back like near $100?
Yep.
When I've already just spent all this money getting these slipcover releases and double disc sets and blah blah blah. So I never bothered picking that up.
Yeah, that's 100% fair. I only just watched Reanimator for the first time like last October or something, and I was surprised how much I loved it. I thought it was so damn good. Do you like it?
It's a classic.
It's such a blast, man. Tom Savini, I think I loved it really more for Tom Savini's practical effects. Everyone talks about Rick Baker and all that, but Tom Savini in the horror genre is just one of the greatest of all time at his job. So good. I see some clips of him floating about, like reels and whatnot, of him on the David Letterman show. He must have been a regular guest on there showing off his practical effects and how they work in the movie. And they're astounding. They're so damn good. Yeah. So I'm very keen to see the other 2 of those, to be perfectly honest. I'm really, really keen.
Say first one, hands down, it is the best.
Yeah.
Third as usual. Third one's pretty iffy. I mean, the practical effects are still up there through the whole lot, but you can't go past that first one. And the fully uncut director's version is it's off its guts ridiculous. It's so good.
Yeah, cool.
Is this
one have that uncut version? I don't know. I don't know what version I watched.
I'm not sure about that set, but I know the Beyond Genres one had 2, maybe 3 different cuts of that film.
Jesus. Wow.
So yeah, they went all out for that set. It was a great set to get.
Yeah, okay.
So if you're a fan of that film, it's worth picking up. And there's been so many different releases all over the world.
There's a new one coming. That's what made me think of it again. Like it jogged my memory again, so I looked it up. And Easy DVD were the only ones that had it. So yeah, I snagged it maybe a week before I should have, but we live in the next ones I'm going to mention. Out of print ones and rare, like stuff you just don't find on the JB Hi-Fi shelves. I had a weekend and went down to Pacific Fair on the Gold Coast, and that's a bigger store than what I'm used to on the northern end of the Gold Coast. And this film was on my mind because I did a couple of episodes with Movie Battles with Uncle Wayno, and we did a list of animated films. And he nominated, Wayno nominated Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And I was like, last time I remember watching that, I was like, this is actually kind of shit. I don't know why everyone loves it. So I watched it again on Disney Plus, and I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? This is not a shit movie. This is great. Like, it's just awesome. Like, it's like this It's very much taking off those noir thrillers from the 50s and
Mhm.
60s. It's very much that. It's really funny. Bob Hoskins is amazing. And I was like looking for it. It's not on JB website. Couldn't find it in the stores that I do go to. Just not there. Went down to Pacific Fair, and I'm browsing through. So this is a boring story, except everyone except me. But I'm just browsing through, and then all of a sudden, Who Framed Roger Rabbit stuck into my head. Last copy on the shelf. I may have got one of the last copies in the country, so I'm actually really happy I picked that up. I'm filling out my Disney portfolio. And the last one is another one that I posted on the JB Hi-Fi Facebook group page. I picked up yesterday when I was in the office at work, a different JB up in Brisbane, and I picked up the screen icons of Rumblefish and Gardens of Stone, the Francis Ford Coppola films, which people can't seem to find anymore either. So I saw that on the shelf. It was face out. It wasn't spine out because I wouldn't have noticed it unless it was face out. And I was just instant yoinked it off the shelf like there was 6 people behind me lining up, but obviously they weren't. Like this, I'm not letting this out of my grasp. And yeah, picked that up and stoked with that because I've been looking at getting Rumblefish and actually importing both of those films, and now I don't have to. So actually saved money. Have you seen either of those? Because Rumblefish has a really good reputation nowadays.
I haven't seen that. Someone actually, like when we were in Adelaide, a guy I was working with lent me the Rumblefish on DVD, and
Mhm.
I never ended up watching it. Not that I won't watch it, but there's new versions of that have come out that are probably better than the
Yeah,
DVD version.
I would hope
Um,
so.
yeah, but that's like a film Criterion would put out and probably do it
Yeah,
massive justice in every way.
yeah,
But yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That is dead set. That's childhood classic for me.
yeah.
I used to have the game on the Amiga 500.
Oh,
I
really?
used to play that. And when you just started talking about that, it jogged my memory of something else. When I was watching Chinatown,
Oh,
the
yeah.
intro to Chinatown, I swear that's like
Ah,
scene for scene of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Like the scene in the office, and he's offering him the drink, and he
you
can't
might be right.
handle it, and he spins out a bit. And if that's the one I was thinking of, I saw one recently. I swear it was Chinatown, and I just thought, damn, that is so much like the intro to that film. And I'm like,
You
that's
may be
awesome.
right, to be
Yeah.
honest.
And
Yeah,
I
that's really interesting.
thoroughly enjoyed Chinatown. Wow.
See, I've seen Chinatown once, and I wasn't impressed. I was like, what's everyone raving about here? But again, it was one of those times. It was probably a Sunday morning, and I was too busy browsing on my phone and didn't pay enough attention because all I know it is the incest movie basically. But I do need to give it another try because I'm going on a have been going on a bit of a Jack Nicholson tear lately. I have quite a few of his movies lined up, ready to get through. Five Easy Pieces and The Last Detail, and quite a few that I've had arrive that I have to pull my thumb out and get to. So I don't have many movies to talk about that I have coming that I haven't spoken about last time because, like I said, I've been a bit more conservative at the moment. Bank balance wouldn't attest to that. But anyway, Amazon had a bit of a sale, as you all know, regular listeners. I did one of my regular Amazon searches for Kino Level 4K, and they had quite a bit of a sale on quite a few items. And I picked up 7 of them, which still haven't been sent, even though I've ordered them like 12 or 15 days ago. I picked up, and I've seen a couple of these. So if you've got any comments, Shane, feel free to jump in. I picked up Narrow Margin, the Gene Hackman movie, The Manchurian Candidate, which I've heard is really great. That's Frank Sinatra in that, and a couple of others I can't remember. Brick, which is Ryan Johnson's first film with Joe Gordon-Levitt. I have seen that again. I need to rewatch, but it's a really good. It's like an LA noir, which I love. LA noir. It's one of my favorite sneaky genres. Stalag 17. I've heard nothing but great things about. An old film about stalags and maybe 17 of them. I don't know, to be honest, but I grabbed it because it was a good price. I'd been eyeing it off for a while. I picked up Stanley Kubrick's Paths of Glory because that is a really impressive film with Kirk Douglas. If you haven't seen that, highly recommend Paths of Glory. Changing Lanes, which has a better reputation than I remembered it, with Affleck and Sam Jackson, right? And also Brokeback Mountain, which is a film I've only seen the once back in the day, and yeah, it was a reasonable price, so I grabbed it. And let's go back to the mountain. And what else? Any comments on any of those?
I remember when you sent me your list of that, and I was like, I think I have 5 out of 7 of those
Mm-hmm.
titles. So Narrow Margin, I don't never seen it. but it was awesome. It was a great film. Manchurian Candidate, is that the original or the remake?
No, that's the original. That's the Frank Sinatra version, not the Denzel Washington one.
Because I got the Denzel one, not
Hmm.
the original. I mean,
That
that's pretty good.
that version
Changing
just had a
Lanes.
re-release in Australia. That Manchurian Candidate. It's in the They released a triple box set, Blu-ray box set with the
Oh
political
right,
thrillers. Yeah, it's got Manchurian Candidate, that one with George Clooney and Nicole Kidman. Can't remember. The Interpreter, maybe, and I think Red Eye.
The Interpreter,
Is that the one with George Clooney and Nicole Kidman?
or is it the Peacemaker?
Peacemaker. Thank you. That's the one.
Too many movies.
There are too many movies. Sorry, you were talking about
Yeah, even
Brick.
like Changing Lanes. I I saw that at the cinema. What a
Oh
great
yeah,
film. That's pretty
is
good. I almost watched Brokeback Mountain yesterday. I just couldn't do it. I had to put it back in the shelf. So I'm like, I'm not ready to sit through that again.
yeah,
Just
tough
because
watch.
it's just very sad. Like
Yeah,
with the themes,
yeah.
and it's got Heath in it, and watching Heath now is quite sad, but
Yeah,
awesome at the same time.
can you imagine what his career would have been like if he had lived? Like he would have been one of the biggest stars on the planet. Absolutely.
Well, he was pretty much there. I mean,
The amazing films he would have made. Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, absolutely he was. I'm curious to know whether he would have won the Oscar for the Joker. Still, I think he would have. I still think he would have won that Oscar whether he was alive or not.
absolutely.
Yeah, because
I
that was an
reckon
astounding performance. Yeah.
like he became that character, like
Mm,
so much
mm,
so it made him actually quite mental.
yeah.
He couldn't sleep. He was up all the time. It's just an astounding portrayal of that character, and what he put himself through to get there is
Yeah.
unreal.
Have you ever watched Dr. Parnassus, where his last film?
No, I
Haven't you
haven't.
seen that? Oh,
I
I'd
haven't.
recommend that because that's like because he's only in obviously the first half of it, and then they changed the character out for Johnny Depp and Jude Law, and I think maybe someone else. I can't remember. But Dr. Parnassus got panned at the time it came out, but I really like it. I think it's The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus is its full title, but I think it's really good. And Heath Ledger is, you can just see his talent in that film. Look, I'm a Terry Gilliam fan as well, so that might be why I like it more than most. I think his films just, I don't know, they sit with me very nicely. But Heath is great in that too. You need to check that out, man. I reckon you'd like that. You have those.
I
Do you
don't.
have that eclectic taste in film? I reckon you'd like it.
I I don't even know why I haven't bought it or tracked it down, because I wanted to see it when it came out, and then it kind of just kept going down the road. I never actually pursued it. So
Yeah, I don't
I think I
know.
need to get
I'm
it.
pr I think it's pretty hard to get a physical copy of it, to be honest. But I've never not looked it up. But if I found one, I'd grab it. If it got a 4K, I'd be all over it, to be honest. My next my next thing I just have a few from Outrun coming, which I picked up as I've been raving about continuously. If you listen to anything I talk about, I picked up Thief, the Criterion 4K of Thief, because yeah, that's such a Michael Mann's debut and best film. Sorry, anyone here listening to this whose favorite film is Heat. Thief is his best movie. I do think, sorry, my hot take, and hate me all you want, but I think Heat is a little bit overrated. It's a very fine film, but it's overrated. You can't base a whole film on one scene alone, in my opinion. Thief is great. James Caan is great. Also picked up, sorry, I'll move on from that. Sorry, Wayne. I picked up Snake Eyes, the Nicolas Cage, Brian De Palma film. I think that movie's quite batshit crazy from what I remember. I haven't seen it since I saw it in the 90s, but keen to get it. 4K, bring it on. I also picked up Alice Sweet Alice because I've heard amazing things about that, mainly from Quentin Tarantino, who I speak to often. No, actually, on his podcast, The Video Archives, him and Roger Avery, they talked about that in the first season at some point, and that reads really good, and they rave about it, and I wanted to grab it. And also picked up Don't Torture a Duckling, which is an Italian giallo film, which I did look up, and it has great ratings. One of my friends, I think, just watched it on Letterboxd, or maybe it was someone I follow on Instagram, posted their Letterboxd review and gave it a full 5 stars. So extremely keen to see that as well. Strange title, but bring it on. And that's really what I've got coming. Nothing else that I haven't spoken about in our last episode, apart from this counts as physical media, but I do buy all the Formula One season reviews and have them, and I will post about this come closer to the Formula One season. So I picked up The F1 23 and 24 season reviews on Blu-ray, they will arrive next month sometime, hopefully, because the 24 review will be released next month. And that is all for me from what is on its way. We are moving into, before we get into the labels, my man, Shane, I'm going to go through a little bit of what I know is coming, what is definitely coming, but has not been announced yet. So scoops are plenty. These are coming. I'm just going to give the April, May, June-ish period. These movies will be released on 4K in Australia. So we are getting The Firm. Jump in at any time with that.
I'm keen for that. Keen for The Firm.
Yeah, I don't own it. Deep Impact I'm keen for because I have eyed that off on Amazon quite a few times and I saw it cheap enough, but I do have the Blu-ray. I'm like, oh, no, I won't get it. But I'll probably grab this Deep Impact when it comes out. They are doing a reprint of Mulholland Drive. That is absolutely coming. When? Probably April.
I said,
April.
like, wow.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Just because I already got that on the Classics Remastered, but they're going to reissue that. Wow.
It's coming back. And strangely enough, they were always going to re-release it before David Lynch died. R.I.P. David Lynch. But Mulholland is coming. I think there might be some other David Lynch titles coming, if possible. No confirmation of anything there, though. We're also getting Drive on 4K, which has obviously been out on 4K for a very long time overseas. Yep. But Drive is on its way. Keen for that because Drive is a beautiful-looking movie. The cinematography in that and the colours that Winding Refn uses, it's just glorious-looking film on any format, to be perfectly honest. We're also getting Rango, which I picked up a 4K steelbook of that in a recent Amazon sale. We're getting Marnie, which is another Hitchcock film, getting that on the 4K. Flashdance, I've got no comments on that. I don't know. We're getting Flashdance. Cool. I don't know if I've ever seen it. Have you seen Flashdance? Let's talk about Flashdance. You look excited.
I got Flashdance last year from Rick.
Oh, okay.
And he tracked a copy down that still had the slipcover because it's shiny and flashy and it's great.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for those old 80s films and the soundtracks and those montage,
Yeah, it's not an 80s film without a montage.
It's like Team America when they ripped that up. Need a montage, and it's true. We need montages.
Well, look, a montage is a great way of just, I don't know, expressing plot development in a quick way. It's like, we can't have a 2.5-hour movie. Let's make it 90 minutes, but just do a montage of the changing room montage is always the famous one, right? Or a training montage. Let's punch some sides of beef.
It's like it builds it up in like a few minutes for the finale of the film and you're pumped up with it because
they amp you up with a song, right?
Away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I am Tiger. We're also getting The Man Who Knew Too Much, another Hitchcock film on 4K, which I'm very keen for. That's a cool movie. Backdraft is a big one, right? That's a big title.
Oh yeah. What a great film.
Yeah, I've never seen Backdraft, but I will this year now for sure. We're also getting Megan on 4K, the horror film, because Megan 2 is coming, so we'll probably get a Megan 2 4K also.
Sure.
I'm not sure about the Megan 2 one, but we're definitely getting Megan.
No, we'll get Megan 2 Blu-ray, and then 5 years later we might get the fucking.
Yeah, probably. Me Threegan, it's called anyway officially. Me Threegan.
Threegan.
Well, that's what the title reads. It's Me Threegan. Because they have to be clever with their fonts, the jerk-offs. We're also getting, though, on Blu-ray, re-releases of, and I'm so excited for these, Marathon Man and Witness. They're going to re-release those on Blu-ray. We're getting newbies of that, which two fucking awesome movies, to be honest. If you haven't seen either of those, absolutely recommend getting the Blu-rays of those. You got any comments on those? Have you seen them?
I think I've got Marathon Man on DVD. Well, Kino put that out on 4K a couple of years ago. So I don't know why we're not getting that on a 4K here. That would be wild.
It would be wild, but we don't have Kino licenses yet. That's the problem. So yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if they could just do a partnership with someone like that? Because Kino released such great titles. It would. The problem would be with the Region A Blu-rays, and I assume they'd have to do some Region B ones, but because they do 4K and Blu-ray at the same time, don't they? Pretty much, I think Kino. Yeah.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah. It's just their transfer quality is So damn good, and the titles they release is so damn good. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, also going to be getting the How to Train Your Dragon, all of the a box set of those on 4K. I've never seen those, but never heard anything bad about them. So kind of really keen to see that. And we're also getting I don't know if I think it's from the 70s. It's called Earthquake, a disaster movie in the 70s. Have you heard of that?
I think I have, yep.
Yeah, I think I have too. Yeah. Anyway, I don't have any comments on those, but I think that's pretty exciting. There's obviously other stuff on its way, but nothing's announced officially, and there's obviously stuff that needs to be decided upon. I'm also going to, I guess, while we're here, and I have my notes up, see a lot of comments online about price points of 4Ks now of movies. But I did find out some information which makes total sense to me, is that DVDs are really cheap to produce, Blu-rays are really cheap to produce, 4Ks are actually quite expensive, and the costs of those globally have actually gone up quite a bit apparently, which is why we're paying the prices we are for them. It's not a price gouge; it is an absolute must price. That's why they've removed the Blu-ray, because if you notice, a lot of releases from Sony, Universal, Studio Canal only have the 4Ks only. If they included the Blu-ray, then they'd be $50-$60 a pop rather than the 35-36 we are paying. We will only get that in steelbooks, I would say, from now on. And there's also a lot of steelbooks coming out as only steelbooks, I think, in Australia, and this is a Warner thing. This is just me speculating, by the way. Seven's coming out in 4K, obviously, in Australia. So did Terminator. I don't know that we're ever going to get a standard of that. If we were, we probably would have. So if you want those in 4K in Australia, I'd be buying it when you can, pre-ordering it, to be perfectly honest, so you can ensure you get a copy, because Terminator went like that. And at the end of the day, what they're doing is they're releasing an exact number of copies that they plan or think they're going to sell. So they're sold at the price they can, at their price point, before they are around long enough to hit a sale. And that is so they don't lose money on them, because sometimes when they sell them on sale, they're actually losing money on some of these 4Ks because the price points and margins are that tight, which might sound far-fetched to some, but it is a fact. It is the truth. And my source is Trust Me Bro, because I have, what's the words? I just know, and I'm not going to say any more than that. Yes, telepathic. Shame. And I did see some interesting stats from the December sales in Australia, is that, and this really saddened me for 2 points, 70% of sales in Australia are DVD, 14% are Blu-ray, and 16% are 4K. And what the market is indicating is that Blu-ray is going to die before DVD will die, because if 4K is outselling Blu-ray, people are jumping from Blu-ray to 4K, but DVD buyers are jumping directly straight to 4K, which is kind of indicating that if any format dies, it's going to be Blu-ray first. So either going to be DVD or 4K only, it's good in my opinion. And again, speculation. It's good from the fact that we're going to get 4Ks of everything, and I won't just get Blu-rays, or we could just get DVDs and nothing of certain titles as well. So it's going to be interesting. I think that might be years down the line, to be perfectly honest, because Blu-ray is still a very important medium, in my opinion. I love Blu-rays. I'm happy to get them because they're cheaper. But I also, I collect 4K pretty much exclusively now. Unless there's stuff that you can't get on 4K, I'll get the Blu-ray. It's as simple as that. Yeah. Any comments on any of that?
I think I don't. It does sound crazy, but DVD, there is not much that won't get released on DVD, whether it be TV shows, which are big ones, new movies that are coming out. So yeah,
No,
new
sorry.
movies
I was going to say, just keep talking. While you're talking, I can still hear you. I'm just going to go grab another beer from the fridge. Thanks,
Oh,
listeners.
yeah, go for it. There's going to be more like movies that get a DVD release than on a Blu-ray. I mean, we've seen this over the years. This film that you really like, it came out, it gets a DVD release here in Australia. International, it will have the Blu-ray release, which is going to be way more expensive. But if you want to see it in that premium format on the Blu-ray, then obviously you're going to import it. But if you
Yeah.
just want to watch the film, then obviously you're just going to buy the DVD. I'm not really
Yeah.
opposed to DVDs, but the real truth is I don't have the space to shelve DVDs. So I don't
Mm,
bother with them anymore.
mm.
I do buy a lot of 4K, as you know.
Yes.
But I think there's stats out there of how many DVDs there are in the world as opposed to Blu-ray, as opposed to 4K,
Yeah.
and they outflank both of them combined. There's just so many, you know. So, and
Yeah,
it's down to price as well. I mean, for people that
absolutely.
can only afford a DVD and they
Yeah.
just want to see that film and they'll cherish that film however it looks. I
Hmm.
know DVDs now look a lot better than they used to, and that's cool for them. I mean,
Yeah.
we're hardcore film enthusiasts that want to see the film in the best way we can see it.
Yes.
We're going for broke.
Yeah, see, I would never buy a brand new. I would never buy a brand new DVD. I am opposed to DVD, but I mean, I own DVDs, and as I've just announced, I have brought some, but that's really only for stuff that's long out of print. I will never be able to find on Blu-ray if I tried. If it gets again, if I'm spending $1 on it, if it gets an upgrade or a 4K at some point, that's not a big deal to upgrade it. But it's very. I reckon I've watched 2 DVDs in the last 12 months. Actually put a DVD in my player to watch, and that was an old
Yep.
80s comedy that you just can't buy anymore. I think one of them was Down and Out in Beverly Hills, which is Bette
Oh yeah.
Midler, Richard
Yep.
Dreyfuss film, which I love because I think that movie's fantastic. Nick Nolte as well. And just, yes, things like that. I'm happy to watch those on DVD, but again, with DVD, you could get some that are 420p or some that are 720p. So you really want ones that are in the 720 at least at a standard def, not just really an upgraded VHS. So yeah, I mean, it's just an interesting time. I think within the next few years, we're really going to see where this market goes, and I think it's up to us as buyers to really buy what you want to see keep coming. Because I know there's some films that just scrape through even getting a 4K release. I'm staggered that we're getting Honora and The Brutalist on 4K. I mean, these are on the JB website at the moment. That really blows my mind. We're getting those as 4Ks in this country. And yeah, I have some information about that I can't really share, to be honest, but it's cool as fuck, in my opinion. The films that we in Australia would once upon a time have only gotten a DVD, we're getting 4Ks for it.
Yep.
It's amazing and deservedly so because yeah, it's yeah, I can't. I'll just be giving away spoilers that I can't really give away. So, I mean, there are reasons that the studios do those things. They're silly rules, but we're lucky we have people in this country trying to change those rules, those long stood rules that are just like, okay, this movie's only getting a DVD because of this factor. This movie's not getting a 4K because of this factor. That shit's about to change. And yeah, there's only pros, there's only positives coming for physical media in Australia. And I think we can all kind of relax. Physical media, JB, are not going out of the physical media game. I can 100% vouch for that. That is not happening, at least anytime soon. They might be shrinking their shelves, they might be doing this and that, but it is not leaving at all. It's just not simple as that. That's what I'm going to leave it at that. Happy for you to jump in.
Yeah, well, I mean, some people only really like to buy online, whether it be JB or, eBay. And it is good to go into a store and actually pick up that copy, have it in your hand, take it to the counter and go, yep, I'm going to take that, thanks, and be very chuffed about it. But,
Mm.
if we're not going to have as many things on the shelf, but we can still get them online, we can still get them in Australia. That's the main thing.
Well, yeah, but we do have to pay a premium for them too, right? And which
Yeah.
which which sucks. But what I'm gonna say something here is that especially with most titles that you see, and if it comes from a regular studio like Warner, Roadshow, Universal, Sony, Studio Canal, if it's coming from those, I would say wait a few months and you're probably likely to see it come to this country. It's not going to be very often that it doesn't, in my opinion. There's a few that I'm waiting on just in the hope that they come that have been released. Also don't rule out the fact that Disney might come back. And again, that's just me speculating, pure speculation. It could be years away, but I don't know that Disney will stay out of the market forever here. I just can't see it happening. I pretty firmly believe we were used as a test bed to see how it went with driving subscriptions to Disney Plus. I mean, that's the only thing that makes logical sense, being that they're a platform that's losing money. So yeah, I'm hopeful, very hopeful of physical media future in Australia. I think we're fine. I do think we're fine. And I do think that if there is something from any of those studios I mentioned, and you don't want to pay $60-$70 for these titles coming in, then wait a minute. Honestly, just wait. Like I'm waiting on Panic Room because I've Panic Room 70 odd bucks on a steelbook at the moment. I'm happy to wait for that to come eventually, if that makes sense. I mean, I own Panic Room on iTunes, cost me $5. If I want to watch it again between now and then, I'll just watch it on iTunes. I don't need to own it physically because it's not a movie I watch every year, So I'll just happily wait. That's my approach anyway.
I've actually got Panic Room in a double with Single White Female
Oh wow,
on
Blu-ray.
on DVD, right?
Ah, okay. Yep.
Never taken out of the wrapper because I'm hanging out to see it in a better version.
Is that right?
I've had that for a really long time. You probably can't even get that DVD double anymore. It's
I
been that
doubt
long.
it. I doubt it.
But
Maybe in
um,
a Lifeline or a Vinnie's or something.
I mean, I remember back, it wasn't long after it came out, and you could get these DVDs in America called Superbit.
Yep.
Came in silver slipcovers, and back then, that was like the highest def you could get on DVD. Best sound, best picture. They did heaps of different ones. That was one of them. And I reckon I did have it back then, but I probably sold it along the way, lost it
Yeah.
somewhere. But I'm
Yeah.
super keen for that one because I actually haven't seen that for a long time. It's not one that you could just watch anywhere.
Panic Room, you mean?
And yeah, Panic Room.
Yeah, I watched
Um,
it. I watched it last year sometime, and I've heard Panic Room be shat on before, but I think it's such a great little thriller. I actually learned just recently that Nicole Kidman, it was supposed to be Nicole Kidman, not Jodie Foster, because I saw them talking on something, and they were thick, and Jodie Foster thanked Nicole Kidman for letting her have it because Nicole Kidman got sick or something. She got held back doing another movie, had to go do reshoots or something. It was one of those two. And so she couldn't do Panic Room. It was supposed to be her and got given to Jodie Foster instead. Which seems weird that Jodie Foster wouldn't be the first choice there because she's so perfect in
yeah,
it and perfect in everything. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's widely known, but that's what I found out. Yeah. Might have been in one of
I
those
reckon
THR roundtables I was talking about that.
definitely Jodie is amazing in that. And now that you've mentioned it, I'm just trying to
I
envision like
can't do it,
Nicole, and
can you?
I
Yeah, you
just
can't do it.
can't.
No, me either. I could not imagine
Nothing
Nicole Kidman
against.
doing that.
I mean, Nicole's great. I mean,
Oh
she's
yeah,
done
she
some
is. She's one
great
of the
thrillers.
greatest. She's one of the
I
greatest
mean,
actresses, actors of all time.
yeah. I mean, her thriller performance in Dead Calm.
Yeah,
I love that
yeah.
film. I
She's such a
still watch
versatile
that.
act. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Mm.
mean, BMX Bandits. Come on.
Do you know
I
what?
had to
The
go.
one thing I've seen her that and I really like this series, which they're making a second one of it, which is stupid. But she's not good at all in Nine Perfect Strangers. Her accent is atrocious. She plays this Russian woman. She should just have played it straight. She's really off-putting. But I really like that. I don't know if anyone else out there has seen that series, but I kind of raved about it at the time, and no one talking about it. Or if anyone does, I just thought it was shit. It does fall apart in the last 2 or 3 episodes. It does get a bit ordinary, but it sets up so well for the first six or so episodes. It's really great. Anyway, that's the only time I've seen her. What I thought, this is not good, Nicole. Anyway, over to you again.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to comment on
Okay.
those. I mean,
There's some good
I
titles on the way, with
I
more
don't
to be
I don't
announced.
care what we get in Australia, as long as we just keep getting more good releases,
Yeah,
that isn't going to cost us a fortune for imports.
that's right.
Like you were saying, if they had to do a Blu-ray and a 4K in the same thing, and it's going to cost $60,
Yep.
well, that's
Just give me the
pretty
4K.
much that's kind of what I'm paying at the moment anyway. If I want an import, it's about
Yeah,
$50, $60.
but casual purchasers aren't though. Like people who don't aren't hardcore collectors like you, Shane. They don't. Like people just browsing the
It's
shelves
true.
at JB Hi-Fi are going, I'm not paying $60 for a fucking movie. I just paid $30, $100 for the family to go see it at the movies. Like I'm not going to pay another blah blah. So the $35 price point is much more attractive. And
Sure.
if you don't collect 4K, get the Blu-ray for 30. Like it's not the end of the world. Like there are some people out there, and I do think the percentage is very low that want both because I mean, I did read a comment just today. This was on a Facebook forum that said, I used to buy him. He's pretty pissed off that you don't get the Blu-ray because he would share his Blu-ray and give the Blu-ray to other members of his family because they don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
4K players, which is fine. That makes sense. But again, it's times change, man. Times change. You might not hate it, but if you want the film, that's going to be the future of it. Like if you collect vinyl, and whinge about the price of movies, then honestly, pull your head in a little bit, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And so if I'm offending anyone, sorry, but that's just my opinion. Like if you
That's
can't
half of it. That's half of our
yeah,
vinyl right there.
yeah,
Like,
that's a good stack. And I know lots of people collect vinyl, but I could never go and collect like some new vinyls like $70 for a record. I mean, a record would cost 20 cents to make, man. You got a cardboard sleeve with a plastic sleeve, and that actual vinyl is, I don't even know what the material is in. I don't think it's vinyl anymore. Whatever it is, plastic. There's no way they cost $70 to produce. There's a reason the vinyl section in a JB Hi-Fi is so large now, because they're making a fucking killing off it, man. They pump it like retro style, and there's some killer sound systems and record players out there. But there ain't no way in hell a record they're make if they're selling a record for $70, I totally predict they're making, take even including the middleman, they're probably making $45 to $50 off a $70 record. Again, I just speculate and pull numbers out my ass, but that's how much I would think making an actual record, shipping it, licensing fees, blah blah blah. Ain't no way $70 is a valid point. Here's me though, being a dickhead, talking about the price points of movies and margins being tight, blah blah blah. When it comes to sale time, just the production of a movie and restoring something to 4K is very different than a DAT tape and transferring it onto a vinyl disc, a bit of plastic. That cost is way less more expensive than actually upscaling or transferring or remastering is the word I'm looking for, a movie into 4K. That cost would be huge to pay all the staff to do that, and the years it takes, the time it takes to do that. So you got to pay for those people too down the line, right? Like it's not just a matter of, you're not just paying for the disc being pumped out in the factory, you're paying for all that up the line, remastering and reproduction of it. A record doesn't,
yep.
the record is not the same with that. Like it's just, here's your tape, here's the fucking grooves, press it. Like it's that simple. I mean, the biggest cost is a licensing to the studio, to the music label. $70 vinyl, I still think they're making $50 on them. I really do.
$70 would be a minimum. I mean, like at JB, I don't know why it is. Like we had a look at some a couple days over the weekend, and there was the Verve Bittersweet
Oh,
Symphony. They're
great.
one of their greatest albums, and Leah looked at it and went, "Oh, I'd love to have that, but not for that price."
How much
It
was
was
it?
$105.
That's fucking ludicrous, man. It's
It is
absurd.
ludicrous.
And
I
who
don't
gets most of that money?
understand.
The Rolling Stones will get most of that money because they gave away, because they lost the court case for that actual song, Bittersweet Symphony.
Oh,
Uh,
oh,
that's
yeah,
bullshit, isn't it?
that was a bit up the arse.
Rolling Stones. What a pack of pricks. I never liked the Stones anyway, but that really guts me. Anyway, $105 for a record.
Headset.
You
That's
can't
like
complain. You can't complain about $50 for a movie then. 35 for a
look,
4K. Like that's cheap as shit.
that's what I mean. Like I pay a lot for film. I don't deny it, and I pay them
Same.
all off because I want them now. I
Yep.
don't want to miss out.
FOMO was a
Um,
mofo.
FOMO is a mofo. So, that's just how we live and live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yep.
If you want that special thing and you really want it, you're gonna get it. Like,
Yeah, of course, of course. There'll be people. The
so
thing is, they sell it at $105 because people will pay it. Otherwise,
yeah,
I've always had this mantra or this saying: something is only worth what someone is willing to pay for it. And this boils down to anything. If people don't buy it, they will soon sell it at the price point that's going to get people to buy it. This goes for blueberries in the supermarket. This goes for houses on the high street. People pay overs for houses. They pay $4 million for houses worth $2 million because they want to live in that street. They want to live. But if people refuse to buy, this is what I mean about market and FOMO. If people just like, fuck you, man, there's so many houses available for me to buy, I'm not buying that. It's supply and demand. I think supply and demand is a bit of bullshit. Honestly, I think it's marketing manipulation. Again, if my philosophy, especially when it comes to, I'm ranting so much, this is really off track, but it all relates to the pricing of what we're talking about. If I see something in the supermarket today, I went to the supermarket today, a cauliflower was $7. I'm like, and they were rubbery, spongy, out of date bullshit. Just thinking, I'm like, fuck you, I am not paying $7 for a cauliflower. I'll go without. I won't buy it Because if we stop buying them at those prices, then they'll stop selling them at those prices. They'll rot on the shelves and they'll have to throw them out and make zero from them. It's really that simple. But us as a people do not stand up and vote with our wallets. And that's why they sell them at that prices, because some dickhead in capital letters is going to go in and buy it at $7 for a cauliflower. You're a fucking fool if you do that. If we all stop doing it, they'll stop selling it that much, because I guarantee you the farmer is not getting close to $7 for that cauliflower, especially when it's rubbery and soft. And this is just one example. This goes to anything in the supermarket. Especially with the last 2 or 3 years of this inflation. There's so many things I just do not buy now because I think it's absurd to pay that price for whatever it is. I could think of a million items, but that's not what we're here for, Shane, is it?
It isn't.
I'm getting angry because it makes me angry, this shit. It really does. Really does. And when people whinge about the price of movies, I think we've got it pretty good, honestly. If you're paying $35 for a new movie, that's pretty fucking impressive in my opinion. I know for a fact that, and this is on the same topic, but disc prices will go up depending on the size of the disc. I was talking about the cost of 4K production is expensive, but if the movie's on a 100 gigabyte disc, that cost really jumps up quite a lot, because you get a 50 gig disc or a 66 gig disc to a 100 gig disc. So if you want the top of the notch bitrate transfer of 80 to 100 megabyte a second transfer, that's going to be a 100 gig disc. So that's going to cost you. That's what it boils down to. That's what the cost comes down to, is that. That's where the price point is in the market. So they have to charge us so they can make money. As for cauliflowers, completely different story. As for vinyl, completely different story, in my opinion. Hit me up on my KerbSide Collections Instagram page. Hit me up and have that argument with me, because if I'm wrong, I want to know different. I absolutely am willing to learn and be told different, but I don't know that I'm wrong until someone educates me otherwise. So yeah, I'm going to go along with that assumption until I'm told otherwise. You, Shane, any opinions on that? I'm passionate about that, as you can probably tell. It's not the beer talking, because I'm had 1.5 beers, so it's not the beer.
I don't think you're wrong at all. I mean, it's just how the world's going. Movies are no different to the supermarket that we go in every day.
It's not. I do think we're kind of lucky with movies, and I try to maintain some positivity when it comes to physical media buying, movie buying, physical media. I do think we're doing okay.
I mean, if we get the handful selection of films on JB that are $26.98, and these they're not crap films. Cheap.
No, they're classic films.
North by Northwest, as an example.
Yep.
$26.98 straight off the bat. Just had these sales roll through.
A delicious transfer, by the way. Beautiful transfer.
$21. $21 for a 4K.
That's correct. You can't bark at that. I mean, you cannot be
absolutely not. No,
that's absurd. No. Anyway, all right. Let's talk about what the labels have coming, my man. Let's hook in. Right. You're first.
So I'm gonna shoot off with the Scream and Shout issue. So starting off, got Night of the Creeps, Guns of Redemption, which has Casper Van Dien, Sean Astin, and Jeff Fay.
Oh, wow.
So that could be actually quite good. I mean, there's 3 big names right there.
So what was that called again?
Guns of Redemption.
Okay.
So definitely one to check out, I reckon.
That's a 2025 movie. That's like from now.
Yep.
Like it doesn't even release until March 7th. Like it's not even out yet on anything.
I think that's actually a DVD release. And
it's straight to movie, is it?
Yeah, that's on their website as a pre-order.
Right, straight to DVD. Well, okay. It says a scarred gunslinger tries leaving violence behind, but his past catches up. Near death from an ambush, he straps on his guns for one final mission to save two captives and avenge a murdered priest before time runs out. Okay, it sounds kind of cliche, but why not?
I mean, I think we were talking about and I don't know if it was last episode or a couple episodes ago about Jeff Fay, big actor in the 80s, 90s, and then he sort of just drifted out somewhere. But like I said, he's still working it.
You did mention Jeff Fahey last. I'm just going to. The director's name is Brian Skiba, and his four most known films, there's the IMDb rating. So gives me no faith at all. Dead Man's Hand, 3.8. The Second Amendment, 3.9. Clear Cut, 3.7. And Pursuit, 2.8. I'm going to predict this one's a pretty shit movie.
Ouch.
Ouch, indeed. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and
sorry.
he's directed 38 films, and the highest rated of all of them is a 5.2. The Student. It's a TV movie. This might be a TV movie. Yeah, so this motherfucker keeps getting work as a terrible director. Like, that makes me think I could be a director and just make shit and keep getting work. Maybe he's a nepo baby. Yeah, I've sidetracked us again.
Well, I'm gonna try and ramp it up now with something to take our minds off of another rant from Adam.
This is making it fun. Yes. Yeah.
So next we got Time Cop. Super excited for that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I've got a Blu-ray of that now.
Need more Van Damme 4K in our lives. Another one, Sorority House Massacre, which I think they only released that on Blu-ray a couple of years back. They are pretty ruthless, Scream Factory, when it comes to releasing a Blu-ray, and then a few years later they put out 4K.
Yeah, they're double
everyone
dippers.
that bought it,
yep.
Yeah, it makes plenty of people mad. But
do you know what the lesson is there? This lesson goes back to what I was just talking about. Stop buying the fucking Blu-ray. But do you know what? If you don't buy the Blu-ray, they go, well, no one wants this. We're not going to do the 4K. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't when it comes to that. Because there's no interest in this film. We're not going to do a 4K. But the Blu-ray probably sold like hotcakes. So, we'll do a 4K of this now too. So, yeah.
Like you said, it costs a lot of money to do these 4Ks.
And time as well. Like, it does take time.
I mean, if you want to see a really awesome 4K transfer, it doesn't just happen overnight. So
no, that's right.
You get what you pay for. I know you're going to be excited about this next one. I've actually never seen this. The Hunt.
Oh, have you not seen The Hunt with Betty Gilpin? The Hunt is
no.
fucking baller, man. The Hunt is so good. I love The Hunt. It really defies expectations. Like especially the opening salvo. It's just because you've got all these big name. Just whatever I say, I'm going to give it away. If you've seen The Hunt, you're going to know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen The Hunt, watch it. It's cool as fuck. I really, really liked it. You would like The Hunt, man. Do you have the Blu-ray?
I've almost bought it before.
Almost.
I've had it in my hand, and then I didn't end up buying it.
It's really good. It's a comedy, horror, chase, thriller thing. Like, it's just fun. It's just really fun, man. And a great closing fight battle between Betty Gilpin and Hilary Swank. It's fucking cool as shit, man. It's really good.
I'll have to check it out. We've also got Renfield, which I haven't seen.
Yeah. Oh, Renfield, you can do without saying that. It's not bad, but
yeah, that's why I haven't seen it, because I'm not really sure if I'd enjoy it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Nicolas Cage. Nearly anything he does is good, but that one, I'm not sure about that.
Nicholas Hoult too is also the one you need to watch as well. Nicholas Hoult is fantastic. So I'll watch anything he's in. Nick Cage was an added bonus for that. The Hunt, just out of interest, it's also it's on 4K and digital as well. Yeah, sorry.
We've got the Shaw Classics Volume 6.
Oh yeah.
I won't be getting that. I'm just, like we've spoken before, there's so many of those films out there that I don't know. If you're not into it, you're not into it. If you are, well, you're going to be frothing at the gills for those. Very expensive as well.
They're good sets, but yeah, if you they're good sets if you know those films. I don't think there's something you're going to grab blindly, is it?
And lastly, for the Scream or Shout, is please don't destroy the treasure of.
Let me tell you something, man. I love 3-star comedies, and if there's ever this movie, it's available on most streaming services. I know it's on Binge, it might be on Prime. Please Don't Destroy is one of the funniest movies. I watched it 3 times last year. It's funny as fucking shit. It's basically there's a few guys, they actually write for Saturday Night Live, and their comedy trio, they're called Please Don't Destroy. And this movie, The Treasure of Foggy Mountain, is just wild. It's one of those bizarrely funny movies. I'm a massive fan of it. Not many other people are, but that's what I mean. I love that type of shit. So if you like quirky bullshit humor, I've spoken about Wet Hot American Summer on here before. That type of comedy where it's just outlandish, stupidish, like a Lampoon's, like a National Lampoon type humor. You'll love Please Don't Destroy. It's so good. I got a Blu-ray of that from the UK, so astounded it's only getting one in the US now.
Well,
I
there
want you
was
to
one
see
on.
that. I want you to
I mean,
see
I
that.
think I may have. I don't know if I have seen it. I know I started watching one on Netflix that sounded similar to that,
Oh, yes,
but
it's
I
on
don't.
Netflix as well.
It
Yeah,
could have been that. I reckon I
yeah.
watched half of it, but I never finished it. But you're right, very quirky and just crazy comedy.
It's
Um,
just it's hard to describe. It's actually not available on any streaming service now. Actually, no. My apologies. It's on Paramount Plus because, yep. Anyway, whatever. If you have Paramount Plus, good for you. And you can watch it. Please don't destroy. You can be one of the 8 people who have Paramount Plus. I'm being
and
really offensive tonight.
you're on fire.
I am on
You
fire.
are you're killing it. So that's all the titles for Scream or Shout, but there is some Shout Studios news. So Shout Studios has gained the rights to the Golden Princess library, which is a pretty big deal. It's like
Yeah.
156 titles that
Hmm.
have not seen the light of day since VHS or maybe DVD if you're lucky. Some
Yep.
of those are the John Woo collection, Hard Boiled, The Killer,
Yeah. Which you can't get
uh,
hard boiled long out of print
even
or
on
expensive.
DVD.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
is through the eyeballs expensive.
Yeah, but it's
Better
also
to,
free on YouTube. Yeah, I think you can get it on YouTube for free.
well, if it's going to be a 4K, it'll be worth waiting
Oh yeah,
to,
of course.
to see
Yeah,
it. But they've also got Better Tomorrow trilogy, Bullet in the Head, and Once a Thief. So
yep,
some of those, like especially Hard Boiled and The Killer and Bullet in the Head, I would totally get those hands down. I
yeah.
mean, they're hard to find anywhere, really.
They are. It's going to be very interesting to see how we get them in Australia. To be perfectly honest, because it did say selected Asian
Yep.
areas in that release that will have their own rights. Basically, I think is what it said. So
I'm
yeah,
wondering maybe Imprint might do that in their Asian selection,
that's what I thought.
maybe.
No, let's see how we go in another month. We might have, there might be some news come out about that in a month or so for Australia. So yeah, let's tune in next month, guys. We've got to given you a reason to tune in next month. We might have some good news for us there.
Because we will be here again next month.
Well, we just never know. Well, that's the thing. News breaks in a month. Yeah, we will absolutely be here in another month. But news breaks, and good stuff can happen within a month. So who knows? But yeah, it did say selected Asian territories, which Australia is included in that. We have to be. So yeah, let's find out. It's pretty promising. Could be promising.
So, what is your first label, Adam?
Yeah, I don't have a lot to give away this week from what we were talking about last month because I'll just say straight up, Kino Lorber, I have zero, nothing, because if you follow certain social media Instagram sites, they've announced a lot coming soon from Kino Lorber, but as I keep saying, I won't be talking about any of that until it's announced on the Kino Lorber website. And at the moment, they only have up until March, which we've already spoken about. So straight to Arrow. They announced a Dress to Kill, which Kino have also released. I have the Kino Dress to Kill. Dress to Kill is a funky American-style giallo film, which we spoke about last month again. When I was trying to
Yep.
explain giallo in a clumsy way. Life Force, which I have heard of and looks interesting. And again, just to remind, I'm only talking about films that I am interested in or semi-interested in, curious about, I'll say. The next one is from my favorite author of all time, Michael Crichton. It's called The Terminal Man. I remember reading this book and I'm pretty keen to get The Terminal Man, but I think that's only getting a Blu-ray off the top of my head. I didn't jot that down and I haven't got the website up. The Terminal Man excites me. That's it for Arrow that I'm talking about. Any thoughts on those? Anything
Uh,
else that I missed that you wanted to talk about?
No, a lot of the Arrow stuff we kind of hit last episode. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I don't think they've fully dropped. I mean, some of the stuff they released, I hadn't really heard of it like recently. And I wasn't really interested at all. But
No,
it's still early in the year. I mean,
yeah, they're saving the
as
big guns for later, I reckon.
oh, for sure, yeah,
Mm.
definitely.
It's funny,
Um,
I've noticed that Arrow do a lot of the Kino releases now too. Like a lot of stuff that, well, not a lot, but some stuff that Arrow release, Kino's already done. It's never the
yeah,
opposite way. It's never vice versa. So I don't know if they're using Kino's transfer or whether they do their own. I don't know, but it's interesting.
oh, for sure,
I'd like
yeah.
to know the ins and outs of that.
Well, it is interesting. Like, well, they did, a few titles. Then Criterion does a few titles, and it's like, yeah, it's interesting how you think one
Yeah.
label's got their hands to those rights, then another label does it as well. It's like, oh, okay, maybe everyone can have a crack. Whether
Yeah.
it's the same transfer, we don't know. It's hard to
Well,
say.
yeah, well, some people say the Silence of the Lambs transfer is different, or some people say it's the same. So I don't really know. And there was another one that came out recently. What was that? Is it the same? Oh, Inglorious Bastards. And people say no, it's the same transfer as the Paramount one, or the whoever did it. But some people say it's different. I just I can just never tell. What's your next label? I'll let you wax lyrical. I'll do some vamping. I'm putting you to the test while I go back to the fridge.
Yeah, well, I might knock over the next two at the same time, only because I talked about VS earlier. So obviously, yeah, they new ones was Street Trash, the Terranauts, which is an old one, bit of a psychedelic, hallucinogenic fever dream as they describe it. Child's Play, and then Iced, which actually comes in the standard Blu-ray and a VHS as well. So because it's done through Digorza Video. So that's pretty cool. That's about it for the VS stuff, because they were the only newer ones that came out after our last episode. But I think the next big one being Second Sight, which super excited about these. They've really kicked off 25 in a major way, doing a 4K of scanners, which is just absolutely mind the pun, mind blowing.
Yeah, man, I watched
Um,
Scanners as a youngster. It was the 80s. We watched whatever the fuck we were told to watch. So
I
yeah,
mean,
Scanners was scary.
it's pretty cool. Like the general effects in that film are just
Is
mind
that
blowing.
is that Cronenberg's first film, or was it just down the
No,
track?
I think it was down the track. I mean, even then, he was still really carving his own track. I mean,
Yeah,
you've
man, he
got
was.
like I think without looking it up, I think Rabid and Shivers were before that.
Oh, okay.
And
Shivers.
they were quite intense, or they would have been for their time. So pretty cool that they're doing probably a more affordable release of that, because there was a Euro
Yeah,
5 disc edition which would have cost us all probably one of our organs to purchase that. And the other one that they're doing is
no
The
kidneys.
Brood. The
Oh,
Brood.
yeah. Yes.
So I don't think I've ever seen that one, but
No, me
I would
either.
totally get it. I reckon it'd be wild.
You would get it.
I
You
would.
you
You know I
blind
would.
buy. I thought I was a blind buyer, but you are a
Nah,
blind buyer.
mate.
This is not Oliver Reed, Samantha Egger. Okay, it's quite a cool cast. The man tries to uncover an unconventional psychologist therapy technique on his institutionalized wife amidst a
Yeah.
series of brutal murders. It's got a 6.8. That's good rating on IMDb. Yeah,
Oh
that
shit, yeah.
that would be worth getting then.
I-
Interesting.
I'm a blind buy master.
You are. You're a box
I
collector.
I am. I'm making a brick house out of movies.
You're nice and warm in there at least, anyway.
Wouldn't have to leave the house at least, so
Yeah. You just make sure if you set them up in the right way, you can just slip the disc out and you're on your way. On to me, over to me.
yes.
I'm just going to release a few. I'm going to discuss a few from Criterion. So they're doing their own Honora on 4K.
Yep.
Honora's a great film, and it seems to have lost traction with this Oscars battle, Oscars race. So, which is weird. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about the Oscars. I could talk about the Oscars for a little bit. I like the award season stuff. So, anyway, Chungking Express 4K, which is the Wong Kar-wai film. They're upgrading that. It's already had a Blu-ray release. So I've got the Wong Kar-wai box set. They're all Blu-rays, but they're also doing Billy Wilder's classic "Some Like It Hot." Marilyn Monroe, Jack Lemmon, one of my all-time favorite actors, and Tony Curtis, who was disgustingly overrated as an actor, a performer, full stop. But anyway, that's a classic film, which I would put $1 million on the fact that you've never seen Some Like It Hot.
Well, let me say this, Adam,
Oh, if
and
you've seen it.
I'll say this. I've never seen this film, but as soon
Okay.
as I saw Billy Wilder, now I'd never heard of Billy Wilder until I met you. But when I
Uh-huh.
saw the name and then I saw Some Like It Hot, I'm like, there must be some wood growing in Adam's house, because he's probably seen it and gone, I fucking need that in my life. I need it. I
I'll give you a
wanted
hot take. I'll give you a hot take.
it.
I've seen. I liked Some Like It Hot fine. I do not know why it gets the classic status it does.
Yep.
It's not a goat. Jack Lemmon. This is one of the performances that made me think Jack Lemmon was one of the greatest actors of all time, and he is and was. It's a very fun movie. Basically, they are trying to escape gangsters. They jump onto a train full of a woman's music traveling group, and they dress as women. So the entire premise is, haha, men dressed as women equals funny. It's old hat now. At the time, absolutely see why this was branded a classic comedy. It's a very fun movie. It's very good because there's some nice little character arcs and, romance going along. It's a rom-com, effectively. It's a very fun film, and it's, good for the Marilyn aspect too. But I have that Marilyn Monroe box set that they released a while back and watched all of those. It's a very good film. I don't think I'm ever bother upgrading it though. It's just, no, I would never, but worth mentioning because it is still a very good film. And Billy, look, listeners, Shane, Billy Wilder, jump on that dude because he was one of the greatest filmmakers, directors of all time. He made a lot of fun shit. The Apartment, for me, being his best one. Again, Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, Fred McMurray, and The Apartment is such an amazing movie. It's just, you need to watch anything Billy Wilder. And he also did Double Indemnity, which I've already spoken about tonight, this episode, however we're going to talk about it. Yeah, but yes, wood wasn't growing, but I was excited. It's cool that it's getting a 4K. Over to you, your next one, unless you want to talk about any of those.
No, I've already mentioned the wood. The wood was enough.
Over to you. What's your next one?
We never said this was a G-rated show. I don't think we've ever said that. Never.
No.
Never. Anyway, my next one is Cape Light.
Yeah.
They're always bringing out some new stuff. So there is a new Count of Monte Cristo film, which I'm kind of excited about because I love the remake. That's one of my faves. So they're doing a 2-disc media book of that one. Once again, look out, Adam. They're also doing Anora in a media book, and that's
Anora's just
4K.
Anora's just slutting itself about to every label possible, right?
Is it what?
Here,
Here's
the rights. I'll tell you what, Sean Baker's making some money off that. I'll tell you, like if he's selling all that, yeah, that's great. Good for him.
It's not too often that a film will get released over multiple labels all at the same time.
No.
It's like we're getting it, Criterion's doing it, Cape Light's doing it. That's 3. I mean, that's pretty decent.
Oh, look, I'd highly recommend Anora too if you haven't seen it. Like Anora is fantastic. It is.
Well, going from our last episode, like my good friend Mauricio, he listened to the episode.
Okay.
And when he said to me in a message, he's like, Adam's on the money with this one. You have to watch that film.
With Anora?
So, yeah, he
I like
he
your
loved
friend.
it.
Good
He
guy.
thought it was great. So
yeah, it is. It's really impressive.
That's definitely one I'm going to have to get. Another one called Operation Raga, which could be an Indian film. That's on a Blu-ray. Another one called Largo Winch, which is on a 4K, and Kill, which is on a Blu-ray as well. So I haven't heard what Kill is like, but I have heard and seen it around on other labels that were releasing it. So yeah, so that's all for the Cape Light this round.
Okay, all right. Over to me for Umbrella. Umbrella, we have The Fall. Again, I'm not talking about everything they've announced, but The Fall, which is a Tarsem Singh film. He's the guy who did The Cell. I read about this. The Fall looks pretty damn good, honestly. Like, it sounds good. It reads well. I think it's got a pretty decent rating as well. So I'm keen for The Fall, to be perfectly honest. They're also doing a Thai horror 8-movie box set, which is a really good price for 8 movies, $120, I think. Yeah, I might jump on that, especially if it's hanging around long enough for the bog off sale. Oh, I also didn't mention in my thing, my FOMO got the better of me in what's arrived lately. FOMO got the better of me, and I did pick up the Alfred Hitchcock box set because that was limited to only 1,500 copies. So that was during their 20% off sale. So yeah, that's got a good nostalgia factor for me. And Alfred Hitchcock is my guy. Sorry. Umbrella also are doing a film called Shutter, which I can't remember anything about it now, but I did look it up. I did read about it. But it sounded interesting enough. Who's the director of that, dude? Who's directing Shutter? Was that a... I'm going to the Umbrella website.
I've never seen it. I've only seen the remake with Joshua Jackson in it, not that one.
Oh, right. What do you mean,
This
not
one
that one?
is, well, this is the original,
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. So
and
it's
it's meant to be amazing.
director
So
is no, I've never heard of the director. Sorry, I think this might be a Thai film because it's directed by, pardon my pronunciation, but it's Ben Jong and Park Wong. That's as good as you get an anime. Sorry. No offense meant. Sorry, when Tun and Jane accidentally knock down a mysterious pedestrian, they flee the scene, but their day-to-day life has inexplicably changed. So did they make an English version of this, did they?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The bonus is, Shane, it has 8 art cards. 8 art cards. That's absolutely worth $80. Just $10 an art card. That's a bonus.
That that's two more than like normal.
Than usual. Yeah, I
Um,
know, right? Absolutely worth it.
I knew that
If you
would be a selling point for
if
you,
you
Adam. I
if you can't
I
if you
knew
can't
it.
send us, I know you can't see sarcasm or hear it, but that was yes. If you're listened long enough, art cards can suck my balls, as Cartman would say. What a waste of fucking cardboard. Just leave the trees alone. We don't want art cards. It does have an A3 reversible poster in it. That's enough. Just give us the art. Just give us the poster and drop it to 75 or something. I don't
This
care.
is a 4K release as well. So
Yeah, it is. It is a 4K
and
release.
and they did do a post, I think it was yesterday, of one of those grading posts. It looks like this, but it looked like that as it scans across the
Oh,
screen.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So,
It does look pretty impressive, to be honest.
yeah, okay.
Once again, it is
Seems
a lot for
okay.
art.
Umbrella do some they do some eclectic films, shit that I've never heard of, but I love that they're releasing some Asian stuff as well. Like well known for liking Asian cinema, even though I've got so many I haven't watched, but what I have seen I really love. Anyway, they're also doing a film called Storm Warning, which I've noted down. It actually has a CD soundtrack of the original score by Jamie Blanks. Jamie Blanks is an Australian director, so yeah, directed by an Australian guy he only does this. He doesn't direct anymore because I did look him up because he did Urban Legend and Valentine back in the day, which were two pretty good teen
Uh,
horror slashers.
Absolutely.
So he only does scoring now. He doesn't actually direct anymore. So yeah, because I think his later movies after that were not well received. So I don't know whether he got out of it because he didn't like it or got sacked or anyway, he doesn't direct anymore. When a storm forces a wealthy couple to land their sailboat on a remote island, they discover a hidden weed farm run by the demented Poppy and his two maniacal sons. Sounds like the beach. Captured, beaten, and sexually enslaved, the couple managed to turn the tables on their captors in a bloody fight for survival. Sounds interesting. Honestly, that sounds fun. Sounds interesting. 8 art cards again. $75 for 8 art cards. All right. And a reversible poster. This one's a bargain. Thank you, Umbrella. We love you. Please send free stuff.
I think 75 is like, the benchmark now with
But
the art
why?
cards and the hard box.
This is 75 because it's only a Blu-ray, not a 4K. Okay, gotcha.
Well,
Understood.
I reckon it was about 3 years ago. This is when Beyond Genres was kind of taking
Mm,
off. And the first really, really expensive one that they did was Hobo with a Shotgun.
yep. CD soundtrack.
This came with the VHS, it came with a poster, it came with a tree
Oh,
of
really?
Rutger Hauer with a shotgun.
Your
It
car.
came with a whole heap of shit. This was $60
It's
and you got all of
trash.
that.
Yeah, yeah, but
And
this,
but
yeah,
now it's art cards in a hard box.
this is before COVID, I suppose. Before
No,
Inflation Gate.
I was in Tassie when this happened. This was three
Ah,
years ago.
wow. So
So
they
that's what I
okay.
mean. After that, the prices started to escalate for these
Mm,
releases,
yeah,
and 75 was the next one. Then it was like 80 or 85, and then 100, and then $150.
it's a lot of money, man,
So,
for a movie. Regardless, like most, I'm going to say most people, me included, for the most part, I just want the movie, man. I just want the movie in the best quality you can give it to me in. I don't want all that garbage. But sometimes that's the only way you can get a movie, and it's kind of sucks. At least with
mm,
some stuff, like I know Imprint slash Firevision will do their collector's stuff and their hard boxes. Then they'll release a standard, but they don't do it for all of them. I don't know, just do select ones, and it's kind of annoying that because you might wait with the hard box and go, well, I'll wait to see if they release a standard, but then if they don't, then you have to get the hard box, which is all of a sudden hard to get. Yeah, so I don't know. It does make it tough for buyers on a budget, is what I'm going to say. So yeah, it'd be cool if we were thought of.
even even some of their standard releases are really expensive on the website.
Yeah,
Like they could be
yeah,
$40,
yeah,
$45, depending
yep,
on what it is.
yep.
This is just like a Blu-ray with a slip.
I remember it must have been a couple of years ago. I first watched Doctor Strange, and I was like, "Oh, this is great. Doctor Strange is great." Have you seen have you seen Doctor
No,
Strange?
I
Okay,
haven't.
it's a great film. It's very very funny. Stanley Kubrick, Peter Sellers, and George C. Scott. Yeah, it's a great film. And I watched it. I was like, "This is amazing. I'd love to look. I'd love to grab this on physical and blah blah blah." Anyway, I googled it, and this is the first. I This is kind of when I started getting into collecting the way I collect now. I'd never heard of Viavision. I mean, I'd heard of them, but I'd never gotten involved with them, if that makes sense. I owned some of their stuff, but it's only stuff I picked up at JB. Anyway, they had Doctor Strangelove on 4K from pre-sale. It's like coming out in 3 or 4 months' time when I ordered it. It's $35 for the 4K, just a standard 4K. Why don't they do that anymore? Like, why don't they just do that instead of coming out with all this fluff and bullshit? We don't want it. We don't want it.
I mean, they have been a lot cheaper over the years, but as things go on, they're not. They're
No.
just going up. All of it's
I
going
mean,
up.
it's all owned by Madman anyway. Like Madman own Umbrella and Viavision slash Imprint. They own so it's a really interesting marketing arm or label arm that they do. So yeah, I don't understand it. I'm 100%. They have their reasons and they have their excuses as well. But yeah, just give us the. They even did the Weird Al Yankovic story. Please tell me you have that. Do you have that? Have you
Oh
seen that?
yeah, I
Yeah,
I pre-ordered that.
spectacular movie, right?
It's awesome.
One
Really
of the
like that.
funniest movies of all time. Like it's so absurd. And I love Daniel Radcliffe. So I'll not just because of Harry Potter, but I just love him as an individual and as an actor because of the choices he makes. So that was an absolute must watch for me. But then obviously when they released it, yeah, I jumped on that instantly as well. Yeah, but that was not overpriced. Like that's yeah. It's a strange thing. Even they had Whiplash was a standard price. It's just a 4K. I don't know why they don't do that. Anyway, over to you for your next label.
So we've got next 101 red label. I did the black label last time. Not too much to chat about. I mean, they don't really put out a lot. So we got Robot Wars, What We Do in the Shadows. They're doing their own release of that.
Well, sorry,
And
sorry, mate. I'm being a dickhead. What label is this?
101 red.
Oh,
So yeah, 101
yeah,
films.
yeah, yeah. I haven't looked them up. Sorry. They're doing What We Do in the Shadows, the movie, not the series, right?
I think it is. I think it is the movie.
Yeah.
Don't think it's
I
this.
would. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And another one called Three Burials, which I think I have heard of. But yeah, that's
Uh,
the only real new stuff I could see on the site at the minute.
yep. Okay. Baggy Crystal Lake Memories. Yeah. So I'm just on that. Sweetie, you won't believe it. Yeah,
Like
they
there
have
is
some.
other pretty cheap shit on there, but
Yeah, yeah, they're red label. Yeah, 26 bucks for the What We Do in the Shadows. What were Madmen charging for it? $50 with a red box. Like what?
I actually saw the steelbook you showed me because you showed me this in a picture because it had art cards when you were in JB like probably a few
Oh
weeks
yes, I
ago.
did. Yes, I did. Yes, yes, yes.
And
I
I
absolutely
picked it
did.
up and I was almost going to send you a picture back and go, did you get this because it had the art cards?
Yeah,
But I didn't want to make it weird in the store. And,
don't have wood grown in the store, man.
that's it. It was a
There's
very
there's
red
another
steel.
there's another t-shirt idea, right? They're doing basketball, which I saw, but that might be an old release. I own yeah, I actually have the 101 basketball, so I'll shut up. That is not a new release. Anyway, over to me for Viavision, is it?
I think so. Yeah.
Viavision slash imprints. I want to talk about the Snowpiercer. They're doing the Snowpiercer TV series, 3 seasons of that on Blu-ray,
All
which
right.
I think is. Have you ever seen the Snowpiercer movie, the original Bong Joon-ho movie?
I've seen the movie.
I love the movie.
Everyone's losing their brains over the new 4K steelbook that's coming out because it probably will be really
Yeah,
good, but
yeah.
really expensive too.
Probably will be. I won't be upgrading. I would not upgrade that. It's just I don't know. I have the Bong Joon-ho box set. He hasn't directed a movie since Parasite, so it has all of his movies in it. But I've never seen the Snowpiercer series. But this would kind of make me want to watch it, to be honest, because I know it's on Netflix, and I don't have Netflix often. I have it like once or twice a year. I just grab it month by month whenever they have something interesting I want to watch. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting release. They have the Imprint Asia March releases, which is The Monkey Goes West, Vengeance of a Snow Girl, and The Snake Prince. They all sound kind of interesting, to be honest. So yeah, I'd be keen on those. I think I'm not going to rush to order them or buy them though, but yeah. Let's see what happens in the bog off sale, see if they're still about. And they have the March limited edition As Above, So Below, which is probably a keen thing to grab, to be perfectly honest. A Dracula film collection from the 30s to 1945. I love those old horrors. They're so much fun. Just campy, awesome shit, to be honest. Escape Room, which a lot of people love. Hated Escape Room. I thought it was the most dumb and logical horror, in quotes, movie I've ever seen. I just did not like Escape Room. Jason and the Argonauts, which was, I thought, an interesting choice. And Nocebo, which I'd never heard of. And Ultraviolet, the Mila Jovovich or Hovovich film. Have you seen or know any of them?
I have seen Ultraviolet a long, long time ago. I don't really remember it. I'm not even sure if I liked it. As Above, So Below, for the price that it is and what it is, that's a
Yeah.
no-brainer picking that up, considering
Oh, really? I thought you were going to say
this
the opposite.
well, the Screen Factory is only a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So this is only a Blu-ray too, and this one you get art cards and a box. So, but no, in all honesty, I think that release is a bloody good release for that film.
Find on there.
I actually really like that movie. I think it was like $45 for that,
Okay.
which I reckon
Blu-ray?
is quite reasonable for what it is. But yeah, I reckon I'll pick that up at some point.
I'm going to look it up. Sorry about the silence, folks.
But, yeah, basically, people go down into these
Oh,
catacombs
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they get stuck, and to get out, they've got to go deeper. And the horrors that they find down there, and if they're ever going to get out at all. So basically, not like as brutal as The Descent,
Yep.
but it's that sort of concept, stuff that's underground. You don't know it's there, and then you're face to face with it, and if you're going to get out at all. So
It's got the lenticular cover. So 45 on the Viavision website. Is that much on the JB website? Probably not, right?
sure if it's actually on the JB website. It probably will be
That's
eventually, but
yeah. I would say so. Eventually, I'm looking it up now while we're talking, so we can keep vamping on.
so yeah, I don't know. I mean, at the moment, I I can't really go out of my range of funds to actually lock in anything new, but when I can,
Mm.
that's one I definitely want to get, and I haven't
Yeah, it
seen
does.
that for
I
a
mean,
long time.
I had heard of it, and like I've heard good things. So yeah, it's not on their website yet, which is odd. Yeah. Anyway,
If my memory serves me right, I'm pretty sure I actually went to the cinema to see that
oh
when it
really?
came out. Yeah, when it came out, it was pretty intense. But
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, cool. All right. I sorry, what was I going to say? That's all from me, label wise. I don't have anything else. But Madman have nothing new. BFI have nothing new. So that's it.
yeah.
I'm all done.
Well, I got two left.
Yeah, made
Um,
on me.
so this one's a bit of a new label that I haven't spoken
Oh
about
yeah.
before,
Oh,
called
you just springing
Ignite.
surprises.
Well, I thought I'd just switch it up, get exciting.
What
I've
are
heard
they
of them
called?
before.
What are they called?
Uh,
Eagle Knight.
Ignite Films.
Oh, Ignite. Right. Sorry.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've heard of them before,
Uh,
but they're doing the story of G.I. Joe, which is actually a DVD, but it's
okay.
I think an older film. But the most exciting part, and you've already touched upon this film already, is
Mm.
Reanimator.
Yeah.
So
Are they the
they're
ones
the
doing it? Right.
yes. So
Okay.
they're the ones doing the Reanimator 4K, but they're actually doing a Blu-ray of it as well. So there's
Hmm.
like three different 4K versions of this you can get. You've got the Reanimator 4K standard, which comes with the slip. You've got the Reanimator Deluxe, which has a 150-page book plus art cards. I just had to really point that out there. And then got
Okay.
I had to emphasize the art cards. But then you've got the Reanimator Ultimate. Now that's got the 150-page book plus the art cards, plus you get a Dr. Hill bobblehead, which is super limited from what I've read. But honestly, the prices on these will be are beyond outlandish and they don't ship to Australia. So if anyone's interested in getting these, Outrun is getting them, but I don't know how many Rick's going to get. He had like some interest of people that
Mhm.
wanted them, and he's managed to get them into the country somehow. So yeah,
Okay.
they're not cheap. I'm not going to lie. They're well out of my price range. I would love to actually just have the standard reanimator, but not being able to get it into Australia for one, that makes them quite pricey.
So he can't get
Other
them into Australia.
yeah, he's found a loophole somewhere to
Yeah.
get them in. So that's it for them. We've got Severin, who dropped overnight, which was really cool. Another Ross Meyer film called
Yeah.
Up, and Motor Psycho, and The Pickup. So that was their three drops overnight, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't See, last time Severin, we were still waiting, I think, for them to drop something else because they hadn't dropped anything since the Black Friday drop, which was massive.
Right.
And obviously, we've got Eureka dropping tomorrow. So that's
Yes.
something we can chat about on the next episode.
Next month. Eureka can be hit or miss. Like they do some great titles. I love their Masters of Cinema series, and they do a lot of Asian films as well. We've never heard of. Yeah, well, most people have never heard of. Obviously, there's people out there who would have. Yeah, all
I
right.
mean, even 88, normally they have
Yeah, yeah,
something to chat about,
yeah.
like a whole list. But I did see the Masters of the Universe box set
Mm-hmm.
that they've been chatting about for ages, and it does look really good. Like this hard box has got a great finish on it because I missed out on the Umbrella one. That sold
Oh,
out quite quick. But this is still like, it's only a Blu-ray as well. I mean, surely down the track, Masters is going to get a 4K eventually. I mean,
well, if
for,
the Blu-ray sells, which it has,
well,
so
that's it.
probably, yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like I guess we figured that out with Shout and Scream. Like if the Blu-rays get a 4K.
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
it's not the most popular film to some, but that was the
yeah, yeah.
first film I saw at the cinema when I was
Mm.
7. So, to me, I love it. I don't really care what other people think. I grew up with it.
I don't know
Yeah,
if I've ever
that's,
seen it. It's Dolph Lundgren, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Did I tell you I saw him on the Gold Coast once? Like I was down down with my missus. We were eating at a Cuban restaurant in Broadbeach, and he was sitting at a restaurant like just restaurant next to us,
Oh,
and the
wow.
restaurant behind us had all these. It was the Bavarian, which is like a beer German cafe pub bar type of thing. Anyway, they were you could hear them kind of carrying on and whatnot, and then one of them walked up and was talking to this guy, and like, who's that guy? Like, I didn't recognize him at all because he had his back to me for one thing, but my partner knew who he was. Oh, that's Dolph Lundgren. I was like, how the fuck do you know who he is? Because I didn't because she was Malaysian,
Yeah.
so I'm like, how do you know who Dolph Lundgren is? That spun me out. Anyway, because she never watched any of those type of films, so yeah. Anyway, that's who it was. And I was like, oh, there you go. And I never went up to him and spoke or anything because I would never. But yeah, interesting. I have heard some stories about him though too from other celebrities. Not bad stories, just stories about him. I'm not going to talk about it in this forum to be honest. It's going to be weird.
So that's
So
all the labels.
yeah,
That's it.
labeled out. So we're
Wrapped
up
it.
to probably my favorite segment, to be honest. What do we want to come to 4K? I want to start this one this month
Do it.
because I just want to explain my list a bit. I have this long list in my notes on my phone, and basically once I'll put like a bullet point next to the ones I want to talk about the next month, and I'll tick them off once I've spoken about them. And for the last 2 months, a movie I have selected to talk about this month has been given a 4K. So I'm manifesting shit in this universe, right? Last month it was Panic Room, and I spoke to you about this not long after we recorded our last episode. But I had this marked, swear to God, swear to Allah, swear to Thor, whoever your God may be. I had ticked off to talk about Sneakers this month. And then about 3 days later, or whatever it was, Sneakers gets announced. I think it's coming from Kino. It's one of those ones that isn't official yet, but yeah,
Yep.
Sneakers. Do you know anything about Sneakers? The film? Have you seen Sneakers? Because it is a
Long,
great movie.
long, long time ago.
It
Very
is
long
such a
time ago.
look. I'm a sucker for a heist film. I love a heist film, and Sneakers is
Yeah.
one of the best ones. Robert Redford, Dan Aykroyd, a lot of It's a big cast. It is a big cast. I think it's got Sidney Poitier in it as well. I think a young. I'm going to say Stephen Dorff. I don't think it's Stephen Dorff though, but it's
Dan Aykroyd's in that.
yeah, Dan Aykroyd. I think I mentioned Dan, didn't I? Tell me I mentioned Dan.
Maybe.
No, no, I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll listen to it back and we'll find out. I've got to find out who this young actor is in this film now. God damn it,
River Phoenix in that.
River Phoenix. Well, why did I say Stephen Dorff? Of course, of
Stephen Dorff
Christ.
might be in it.
No, he's not.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great film. Timothy Busfield. People would have heard of him. Yeah, it's really fun. It's actually quite funny, and just a good heist film. If you're into heist films, Sneakers is a great one. Anyway, so I'm chalking that off my list. That doesn't count as one of my 5 for this month. So the first one, the first one I'm going to talk about is a film that no one has ever heard of except for me. It stars James Marsden. If you've heard of this, I will send you $1. It has if tell me if you know it just by it. It has James Marsden. It has Gary Oldman. I think Kurt Russell is in this as well. I'm looking it up as we talk. I'm just going to fill in some dead space. It's directed by Bob Gale, who wrote Back to the Future. Yes, it does have Kurt Russell. It has Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, of course, because Bob Gale connection. It has some other people in there too that you would absolutely recognize. Do you know what I'm talking about? This is a quiz. This has turned into a trivia quiz right now. It's from 2002. You cannot find it on any type of physical media. And the only reason I want it to be a 4K is not because I think it would look great in 4K. It's just because I want the damn thing. I just want it. It's called Interstate 60 Episodes of the Road. It is such a bizarre. It's one of those movies that I love to curl up in bed with and just watch under the blanket, just tucked up. It's a real cozy film. It's really weird. It's really quirky. It's kind of funny. Has some really bizarre scenes in it. It's kind of like I'm going to read the synopsis, but Neil Oliver, a very confused young artist, takes a journey of a lifetime on a highway that doesn't exist on any map, going to places he's never heard of, searching for an answer and his dream girl. Basically, he meets Gary Oldman at the start. He says, "Can you deliver this for me to this endpoint?" And the whole movie is him getting to this endpoint, traveling along this highway that doesn't exist on any map. And just some weird shit happens. You meet some really interesting characters along the way. It's just a really fun, cozy movie. And I want to see it because I just want to get it on any type of physical, to be honest. Look it up if you don't. It's got a 7.5 on IMDb, which is a really high rating, to be honest. So a lot more people out there love it than I expected. If anyone listening to this has heard of this film, please message me because we will be best friends forever. Especially if you like it, we will be best friends. Because I don't know. I've never met a person other than me that knows this film.
Never heard of it. Honestly, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I think it's on Amazon Prime. It used to be in Australia, at least. I'm going to look that up on Just Watch now to see if it is still on there. Because you have Amazon Prime, don't you? It's still on there, man.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon Prime. If you have time, if you don't have to go to bed early, it's a perfect nighttime watch. I swear to God, I would love you to watch it. It's almost 2 hours long. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I would love to see you. I'd love for you to watch that and just tell me what you think. Because I reckon it's another one that I think this is a Shane movie. I reckon you'll like it.
Well, with all the actors that are in that, I'm surprised I've never heard of it.
I know. This is the thing, man. It's the most hidden. This is one of those films that I think is made for me because I'm the only person in the world that knows about it. It feels like a Truman Show event for me because no one's ever heard of this film. And it's great. The fact that it has 7.5 on IMDb and no one knows about this film, it's criminal. We need a physical media release of it, please.
It does seem like a film that Imprint would put out.
I don't care who puts it out. I will buy it. I will buy it. I'll have your art cards. I don't care. I want this film on my shelf. I really want it. I'm trying to see what the production companies are. I reckon it's one of those ones just lost to time. It's production companies that I've never heard of. These production companies. It says distributor Samuel Golden Films, which is why it's on Prime. That makes sense. Yeah. Anyway, that's my first choice. Interstate 60, an absolute banger that I want more people to see and love as much as I do.
I need to see it now. I have to see it.
Please do. If mate, I said a similar thing to Wayne yesterday because he's never seen Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. And I said, mate, if I was rich, I would fly you up here so I would make you watch it with me. And this is the type of film that I would invite a million people to come watch with me because it's great. We just sit down late at night, lights off, bowls of popcorn, whatever. Just watch this film and just have a blast. Good film.
Yeah, well, I don't know how I can
You can
contend
top
with
it.
that opening.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, my first pick, going back from number five, I don't actually own this film because it's so hard to find. So I
Hmm.
guess we're on the same page as that.
Yep.
It's called Fortress with Christopher Lambert.
Prison
And
film.
it's, yeah,
Yeah,
underground prison film
I've
set
heard
in the
of
future.
Fortress. Yeah.
It's got Kurtwood Smith in it, Clifton
Oh,
Collins
yeah.
Jr. It's got some great people in it. Jeffrey Combs is in it. This film has had DVD releases and
Mhm.
maybe Blu-ray releases, but only international, and they're so expensive.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's had media book releases like in Germany. They're so expensive. So I'd love to see this get a 4K one day. I haven't seen it in so long, purely just because it's so hard to get. So I reckon it'd look pretty sick in 4K for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, that's a really
Me.
good choice, man. That's the type of film that is primed to get probably a kino release, considering it's from the 90s. Honestly.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, anything like old Christopher Lambert, I reckon is worth getting. He's a good actor.
There can be only one.
Yes. If you haven't seen Highlander, well,
I haven't seen
I,
Highlander. I know that. How many times I've had that in my hand on the show on in a JB store and gone when it was like 2 for 40. I'm like, nah, I was going to get it. I was going to pick it up with something else, and I was like, nah, I don't want to. Battlestar Galactica, actually, and I was like, nah, I don't want either of these. So like 4 or 5 times I've had them in my hand and put them down, and they're probably out of print. I probably can't get them now.
well, the interesting thing about Highlander, that version that we've got, and I reckon I was talking to Rick about this one day. He said the international version is the full version, and
Oh,
it actually is better than the one
oh,
that we got. I don't
okay.
think the one we got is the full version because I think there's a
Oh.
couple different ones.
This is the Studio Canal version, though.
But
It is on JB website, so that's still about.
because I was thinking the same thing. Do I get this one in the deal and then I have it?
Yeah, yeah.
But then he said, "Oh well, this one, yeah, it's all right, but this international version that's come out over here,
Yep.
far superior. If you're a big fan of
Interesting.
it, that's the way
Yeah,
to roll." But
that is
yes,
interesting.
that is my pick number five.
Number five, well, my pick number two, I'm counting up, is I'm delving into the Fox Disney catalog title. I
Yep.
own this on DVD, but I really want to own it on 4K. Is The Beach.
The beach. That
DiCaprio and
is that's hard to get anywhere.
Danny Boyle. Yeah, I have a DVD. I have this, even
Yeah.
have the soundtrack to this film. That's how much I love this film at the time. I think it's dated now, but yeah, man, I like The Beach. I mean, it does. People say it falls apart in the third act because it is a very different film in that third act once he finds the drug lords or they find him.
Yep.
But you got Tilda Swinton in there as well, and Tilda Swinton's never bad. She's the Christian Bale of actresses, in my opinion. She's just always
Yep.
amazing. Yeah, man, The Beach would look great in 4K. It would just be a brilliant film, and I don't know, just glorious. I don't know what else to say about it.
Well, if you're gonna go the beach, I'm gonna like reshuffle my.
Yay, like it.
It's funny you should say the beach because I also picked the
Ah,
island.
right, gotcha. Yep,
Like
Michael Bay. Michael Bay's best film, probably. Yeah, probably.
this film,
Probably.
it's
I like The
great.
Island. Yeah, it is.
Like
It's good. I don't own
the
that at all.
action, it's just off its face, over the top, ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
I'm jealous you have the
it's
Blu-ray of that.
it's entertaining. Like I got this,
Hmm.
oh, it was a while ago.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
it's an older film.
2008 says that came out, but I've watched that quite a few times and it's always entertaining. It's got great actors in it. It's a long movie, but it's just really great. So
I don't even think I
you
can
said,
report it.
yeah, I haven't seen that around for a while, but
No,
I'm backing it up with The Island.
yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong on this, because I've had this tick for a while, but Dark City, is Dark City getting a 4K already, or am I just dreaming?
I think Umbrella was doing Dark City.
As a
I
4K?
think. I think. Someone is
They
hinting it.
announced last year.
Yes. I think the end of last year.
It might be,
I'm sure when they were hinting all those ones that they were going to put out, I thought that was one
yes.
of them.
If it is in the works, I'm not going to count it as my pick, to be honest.
It would look phenomenal. in 4K
Oh,
though.
Dark City be great. I've not seen it since VHS, honestly. And when I mention it because it's something I want to rewatch because Rufus Sewell, right? I remember vividly actually watching Margaret Pomerantz and David, what's his name, reviewing this on SBS when they did their movie
Yeah.
review show. Yeah, David Stratton. Yeah, that's how old this film is, and that's how old I am. 1998. So yeah, apparently it's in the works from what I'm doing, from what I'm looking at. In
Maybe
soon
it's
to
not.
4K. It's from Dawn. No, the Dawn of the Discs has announced it actually.
Uh, it's not
Coming
Umbrella.
soon. They announced it on Christmas Eve last year. No, it's probably not Umbrella, but it just says it's coming soon. So I'm not counting that on my list then. Sorry, Shane. It's not happening. If it is coming, Dawn of the Disc has said it. It's not coming. So I'm going to choose another one. I'm going to choose. I'm going to go back down here. Okay, this one. Everyone's going to love this one. Everyone wants this one. It's another, sadly, it's another Fox title that it might not ever happen. Big Trouble in Little China. It needs a
Uh,
4K. How good would this look in 4K, this movie?
it would look phenomenal, but
Well,
I've
if it was
I
done
don't
right.
know if we're ever going to see that.
No,
Honestly,
well, you know what? I wouldn't rule it out because a lot of other John Carpenter's stuff, most of his films have gotten a 4K. The problem, this being a Fox title, but this would look spectacular, especially in those fight scenes and they're shooting those rays. They'd be able to fix up some of those effects with just the
yep.
beautiful colors. It would look great with HDR of any kind. I think it'd be a great 4K transfer. To be frank, so that's my next choice. A movie I really need to watch again soon because it's such a banger. Childhood fave.
It doesn't matter how many times you watch it; it's still like you've just watched it for the first time.
Yeah, it's so fun, man.
It's like a
Just
flawless film in that regard.
yeah, it's just such the whole vibe and tone of this film is glorious. It's so good. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, you're next.
Well, I actually own this one, and it took me ages to get it. And I probably paid a lot for it.
Okay,
Project X.
Matthew Broderick. Okay,
Yeah.
never
I
seen
don't
it.
know if you've with
Never seen
Helen
it.
Hunt, childhood fave,
Wow.
training apes to fly in flight simulators. And it was only on like DVD for a long time, if that. And then there was like a German release of it. And that's when I picked it up. I was
So
like, I have to have it.
So being that you've got it on Blu-ray, what's going to make it look better in 4K? Like, is it special effects driven? Is it colorful or
I think anything 80s, when
yeah,
it's done with
because it's on
4K,
film?
because it's real movie.
Yeah,
So, there's a lot more you can pull back out of it, a lot sharper image, better coloring.
yeah. Is the Blu-ray decent? Have you watched that Blu-ray or
I have watched it. It's quite good.
okay?
But that's like an all-time classic for me. I love that movie.
Yeah,
There were certain films back from the 80s, Project X, The Goonies.
yeah,
They're just films that I adore. Big Trouble in Little
yeah.
China, that's another one.
Yep,
So
yep.
to see them in, all their glory, I reckon it'd be tops. So
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's hard to argue with.
not to be
I
confused with the Project X house party that went wrong.
Yes, that's what I was. Yeah. That's what I was kind of thinking of. Now I'm going to change one of my picks. That one can wait till next month. I'm
Yep.
going to pick this one because we were speaking about this. Or who did I see speaking about this recently? It might have been you because I was thinking that's actually on my one on a 4K list. So I'm going to talk about it. New Jack City because we can't
Yes.
get that anywhere. Were you talking about that? Were we talking about that?
Yeah, I'm selling the DVD for that.
Yes, that's right. You on your Instagram live. Yes. Because I kind of hinted at it, didn't I? I said that's on my list. Yes, New Jack City. It's a film that I
Yeah.
can't find anywhere, and I just kind of want it. So that's the reason. I don't know if it's going to be any more special on 4K than a Blu-ray or something, but I want it on 4K just so I can own it, to be perfectly frank. Yeah,
Well, the Blu-ray is super expensive, and I've
because
tried to
it's
track it down years ago.
yeah,
It's so I settled with the DVD because I thought, oh, well, you can't find it on anything else in Australia. So yeah, it's just one of those films that if we wait long enough, we'll get it. But
yeah. I don't know who the studio is behind it. I don't know if it's a Fox or anything, to be perfectly honest. But I mean, it's on iTunes, so I don't even think it's in HD on iTunes, to be frank. It might be only in standard def. So it hasn't got even an upgrade digitally on to HD. So if any film's going to get it, it's probably going to be that one, right? Like it sounds prime for an upgrade.
Oh, I'd hope so. I reckon it would look pretty sick for sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Over to you.
Well,
Talk
next
away
one,
on.
it's another childhood favorite, The Principal, John Belushi. For its time, quite a brutal film. You know, that sort of 80s violence was full on. But yeah, I've watched this so many times. Took me ages to hunt down like a Blu-ray copy of it, and I reckon it would just look sick if they did it in a 4K. Yeah. Like I'm pretty sure I had this on DVD at one stage, like when I was buying them back in the day on eBay. So yeah, I'm definitely hanging out to see this get something. I mean, this copy does look quite good, but at the same time, you know, you can always go up and I don't know, get a better version. So I don't know
Oh,
if you've
yeah,
seen the
okay.
principal before.
I've never heard. I've honestly never heard. Is that John Belushi?
Yeah, yep,
Have you ever seen a film that he's in with an Australian actress? I can't remember. She's blonde. It was called Retroactive, I think. So I remember watching.
retroactive.
It's kind of bad. It's like this time travel, time loop type of thing. I'm gonna look it up because I remember watching it when I was in the video store. Far out. And it's not. Look, this is when I was a less experienced film watcher, but I really liked it. Jim Belushi or
Kylie
John
Travis.
Belushi? Yes, that's there you go. Kylie Travis. Have you seen that?
No.
It's fun. Look, this is something that I think a kino could do this too, to be perfectly honest. It's from 1990, what, seven, eight?
97, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to scroll back to look it back up. Retroactive. Yeah. It's 6.2. That's actually rated better than I thought it would be. It's he's a
That's
prick. Like he's kind of yeah, he's hunting this girl down and then they get through some type of time loop type of thing and it's basically like a cat and mouse thriller of some kind.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up because it's one of those films that again no one else has ever really heard of. So I seem to have a few of
No.
those tonight.
Well, you would have seen a lot of different films when you're working at the video store that would have come and gone, and no one would have
Yeah.
heard of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember because I had that dual deck and I used to just tape movies onto my own tapes and I just watched them over and over because I didn't obviously have as many. So I just, come home overnight and put on a movie and smoke a bowl, basically, watch a movie. It was
Yeah.
fun. And yeah, and that would have been, I remember watching that a few times and yeah, it was just something to chill out to. One of those brain dead movies. It was good fun. I don't really know what else to say about it because what year is it? I probably haven't seen it for at least 27 years, 25 years at minimum. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My next pick. Got such a big list here, man. I've got one ticked, but I don't know whether I want to save that one for later in the year when it gets to spooky season. So I might do a theme. I'm not going to talk about it. I might do a themed one for October. I'm going to pick. Here's one because this is one you can't really get on 4K or on anything. You can. It's hard to come by. Sorry. All right, this one because this is a great film. Another one that not many people really seem to talk about, but it is an amazing film. Sam Mendes directed it. I'm going to quiz you on this one too because this is a new game now. I've just invented it as we've been started this show. Directed by Sam Mendes, starring Tom Hanks, Daniel Craig in his very first American film appearance. It has Paul Newman, ringing any bells?
Not yet.
Road to Perdition.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Watch. I only watched that just recently,
Did
like
you?
last year. I'd never
Such a
seen it before.
anyone listening, if
Brutal.
you haven't seen it,
Brutal.
100% do yourself a favor. As Molly Meldrum would say, Road to Perdition is a great film, man. It's the only time you'll ever see Tom Hanks play any inkling of a bad guy. He's never played a bad guy in his life except for in this one. And he's even now, he's still not really a bad guy. He's a nice bad guy, if that makes sense. He does some very immorally bad things, but it's a gangster film again, cat and mouse type of game, right? So someone being hunted
Yeah.
down. It's a great film, really great drama, great character based film. Well worth a see. I'm ticking that one off because I don't know if I own that on any format myself. To be honest, I should check my list. Oh no, I do own a Blu-ray of that. To be honest, I even have a dupe of that, which is me sitting here going, "Do I even own that?" Yeah, I own it twice.
Yeah, I really like that movie. That was
Yeah,
intense.
I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, it is intense is a really good way to
Mm.
say it. Absolutely. Yeah. It's very good. Your last one.
My last one is another one that I don't own. Enemy at the Gates.
Oh,
Now,
is that a Roman Polanski film?
with Jude Law, he's a sniper in the war.
Right. Ed
It's had a
Harris.
Blu-ray before, but
Right.
once again, not here. And
Oh,
it's
okay.
very hard to get. It's expensive. I thought about picking it up many times over the years, but I'm just going to hold out now because I reckon after
Yeah.
watching Schindler's List and Saving Private
Mm.
Ryan with much motivation from the Spielberg movie battles
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
episode and just watching that sort of war stuff, I'm just like, wow, I would love to see that film get a 4K because it's just such an
Well,
intense film.
well,
Like,
fun fact, it's available in 4K on iTunes and
ah,
it's only $5 at the moment.
there's like hope for us yet.
Guess what I'm gonna do? Only got a 54 on Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gonna buy that. It's $5. I'm buying it. So
It's
call the
totally worth $5. I mean,
call the call the cops and turn out the lights. I'm buying this film. $5. I know.
would have cost more to like hire that back in the day from the video store.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're in 660 for an overnight for a new release.
So basically, 2026, I'm predicting it now. We're going to get a 4K of it.
Yeah.
25th anniversary next year. So I reckon it's a goer.
Do you know now I've purchased it on iTunes? Yes, it's a guarantee. It's a
Guarantee.
guarantee. But it's one of those ones, it's $5. If I like it and it comes out, yeah, I'll absolutely physicalize it. Yeah.
I mean, 7.5 out of 10. I mean, that's up there. It's decent.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But we need you to buy it now so that we
Well,
can lock in
I
that.
literally just have. I've literally just paid $4.99 for this film. So I need to add it to my I need to catalog it.
No, that's gold.
Yeah.
It's even got Bob Hoskins in it. Come on.
Yeah, man. Bob Hoskins. I don't know if you've seen. I've spoken about this before. The Long Good Friday, British
Yeah,
gangster film. That
savage.
he's incredible in that film. He's so good,
Yeah,
so
that
good.
is very brutal film, that one.
Yeah, it really is. So are we? I don't know. Might be done.
So that's it. We got there. That's it.
I think we're wrapping up. Did you want to tell the fine folk where they can find you?
Well, I'm pretty much only on Instagram. So at Blue Relic Hunter on Instagram. Yeah, I don't have any other places. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on YouTube. Yeah, just on there, just talking about the movies I've been watching, just doing my spiel and what I think about them. And there's too many to mention. I'm backlogged as it is,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah, look, Shane has he's a good page. He's a good guy to also just chat to on there if you want. He's always up for a chat. Well, at least with me, you're up for a chat anyway.
for a chat with anyone that wants to chat about movies. So
Yeah. So look, guys, everyone, thank you. This has been another long show. Thank you for tuning in all this time. Hopefully, you got some good info out of this and enjoyed the ride. I know I did. Remember Curbside Collections / Curbside Pickups is part of the SPDM Crew podcasting network. We have lots of different cool podcasts on there you can check out from, I don't know if you're into comics, into just movies, movie reviews, old movies, whatever you like. There's more than just movies on here too, by the way. Check it out. You can also check me out on Curbside_collections on Instagram. And a few times in this episode, I've called out if you have an opinion on something to DM me. Feel free, DM me. I am also up for a chat and I'm pretty quick to respond most of the time, unless I've got work on, which hasn't been often lately. So, yeah, send them my way. Give me your opinions, especially if you've seen Interstate 60, because I want to know more people that have seen that movie, and especially if you liked it. Yeah, hit me up. Love you all. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you all, or listen. You'll hear us. Shane, what am I saying? You will hear us next month. Thank you,
you're
guys.
saying something, Adam, for sure.
I'm saying something. I don't know what I'm saying. I should write this shit down so I don't stumble over my words. Thank you, guys. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Tell your friends. Say hi to your mum for me.